Have you seen the Professor Jang's theory on Pax Israeli? What is it? Pax
wanting everybody to hate them?
Judaica. Yeah, about their end time prophecy.
Yeah, 100%.
They need the world to burn.
Yeah, and all this end time shit is all a giant Broadway production. It's all being created by these groups of elites that have this whole... We just had Gary Wayne on my show. He's like, if you ever want to interview somebody super interesting, like Batman is a Nephilim. He has all these really great... Like, you go back, there's a god with the Batman helmet. Have you seen that shit? I thought that was a joke. No. That's real shit. So, like, he's talked about it, dude. Like, they are just all astroturfing this end of day shit because annihilation. They want annihilation because in their heads, they believe, because they've been told by these fallen angels that they will come back as gods. So that's why they just want to nuke the whole fucking thing.
Dude.
It's so crazy, dude.
It is crazy.
And you know, so we live in this great time where everything's coming out, and there's about 4 conspiracies that are left of the really... that are the really good ones that, you know, that it's going to take a lot to get people to believe in. You know, flat earth, viruses don't exist, nukes don't exist, and the funny, as Owen Benjamin calls him, the funny mustache guy wasn't who we thought he was, and not in a good way, too. There's some dick riders out there, and I'm like, they're crazy. Mm-hmm. He was a British agent. So... But once we get to that, you know, those are the last 4. And it's like, those are the 4 that if you bring it up in a casual conversation, everyone's walking away and thinking you're a crazy person.
What about the moon? Is that one accepted
I think
yet?
People are now like kind of like, you can talk about the moon with your regular friends and they're like, oh, that's interesting.
Right.
But these other 4.
The flat earth, you're kicked out.
When you're like, hey, dude, viruses aren't real. And they're like, whatever, whack job. Right? Or, you know, or like, hey, the funny mustache guy was a fucking Rothschild and he was controlled by the British Empire. Uh-huh. They'll just walk away and think you're a crazy person. Right. Those are the last 4 left.
But there are a lot of people who think Hitler's cool now.
Yeah, and listen, there's some guys out there that have done a wonderful work. Like their whole life, they've sacrificed everything to kind of call out, you know, Zionism and stuff like that. And they want to believe that guy was this hero. You know, they're like, he arrested a Rothschild. It's like for a week, dude. The guy was in jail for a week. I've had friends for DUIs longer in jail, you know? So it's like, what they want you to believe is that this guy rose up in this completely locked down country. Like after, like World War I, World War II. My buddy Johnny Woodard, he's my co-host on a bunch of my shows. He said like the Greater Israel Project is the Kevin Bacon of conspiracies, right? Where like everything leads back to it, right? Yeah. And if you look at the Greater Israel Project and the map of it.
Mm-hmm. Is that really on the IDF badges?
Yeah. Dude, that's what this is all about.
Pull up an image of the IDF patch. I saw that in the Jang video, and I was like, is that real? I never looked it up.
Yeah, but if you look at the map of that.
Crazy. Oh, yeah. It's like 10 times the size of Israel currently.
Well, if you look at the map of it, right there, it's at that bottom.
Oh, yeah, the bottom left.
All the way, there it is.
Punch it on that. So that's Greater Israel.
So do me a favor.
Pull up,
Look up the map of the Greater Israel Project.
Yeah, no, I didn't even realize that those 2 blue lines.
Now do me a favor and open up another one and look up the map of ancient Babylon. Dude, they are like right. Look at it's that one right there. No, that it. Now, if you compare those 2, ancient Babylon goes farther up to the north, but they're the same thing.
Oh, it's very similar.
Like if you
go back to Israel, let me see where Turkey's cut. Oh, they're not even taking any of Turkey.
That's it. It goes higher up in Iraq and stuff. Right. In Babylon.
Yep.
But it's the same thing. Even on the side when it goes into Egypt, dude. Yeah. It's the exact same thing. So this is what it's all about. Yeah. So when everyone gets into the J World Order and all that stuff, and you go, well, there's levels to this shit. It's even higher. And they look at you like you're a crazy person. It's like, there were religions around before all the Abrahamic religions. Mm-hmm. And those, I was talking on Rogan about, but it's like the old gods want to come out and play. They've been sitting in the back very quietly, waiting their turn. And like they kind of want to come out. Like, you know, it's like if you look at the Statue of Liberty, it's Mithras, which is Lucifer, you know? And you look at it, he's got
Luciferian. Dude.
So this is a big thing that I've been talking about because I know you want to get into Epstein files and all that stuff is that I think there's a lot going on with these files, and it's not necessarily just, you know, we're going to release these. Like there's games being played too. Like there's, again, how deep do you want to go?
Right.
And for me, I had this guy, Ian Ferguson, on my show from White Lotus of Light. He has a YouTube channel called White Lotus of Light. And he came on, he said something to me that really clicked with me. And that is, there's a war going on right now between Luciferians and Malachians. And it sounds freaking crazy, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the spectrum of good versus evil, right?
Yes.
Over here is Jesus, perfect. Didn't do anything wrong, never sinned, never did anything.
Right.
And then you go all the way to the other side, right? And you go all the way to the evil. That's Moloch. Moloch's the worst of all of them.
Why is he the worst?
Because he's the darkest of dark. Like he's the one they sacrifice to. He's the one, all that, you know. And over here are all the fallen angels and its degrees. Lucifer isn't Moloch.
Where does Moloch come from? Find the origins of Moloch. Moloch's the owl, right? From Bohemian Grove?
The bull.
Oh, it's a bull.
Yes. It's the...
Oh, yes. I remember this. I remember the... The bull that eats children.
Yeah. Do you know one of the first films ever shown at the White House was a Moloch film?
No, I had no fucking idea.
Yes.
It's south... the surname... No. Moloch.
Yeah, that's
Moloch.
Isn't it crazy
Moloch
you just
God.
spell something wrong and there's a whole thing about it?
Oh, this is what I'm looking
This
for.
is a whole nother world.
Completely sends you off in a different fucking direction.
Okay, there you
It's
go.
a Canaanite deity.
Yes.
Okay. From what year? When was it? When was it first written about, or when was the first depictions of it? Oh, connected to Baal?
Yeah. Well, there's some people like...
The Baal shit's fake.
Moloch and... Well, why do you think the Baal shit's fake?
There is a... here, let me send... Steve, I'm going to send you a tweet thing. I'll show you why. Because there was... somebody sent me this. Or no, maybe this was actually... I think Ian Carroll. Somebody sent me this tweet. And Ian Carroll on his live stream, I guess, found out that there was a bunch of emails about that specific bank account.
Okay, the bank account may not be real. And that's a big thing with the dumps.
Because the ball came from that bank account with $11,000 in it, where it said BAAL, bank name or whatever. But there was like, I guess, a dozen other emails about that same exact bank account with 11 grand in it, where it said BAA1. Like, I guess it's some sort of like credit rating.
Right.
Here, I'll send you this. I'm going to text you this thing, Steve. But I don't know. It still could be real. Who knows?
But when we say it's not real, you mean the bank account's not real, but the God is real.
No, I think people saw, I think it was a typo, or it's supposed to say BAA1. People see ball, and they just fucking run with it.
Yeah. Which is, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say to me, Sam, do you think everything in these files is real? No. There's a lot of disinformation.
Right.
Because the goal is to keep the normies away, which is what Q was about. Q is something called Operation Trust, and it's a psychological operation. It's an intelligence operation, ran many, many times throughout history. And the basic goal of Operation Trust is to basically corral the conspiracy theorist into like a section and then pacify them. Oh. Right? That's why patriots in control, right? And because they don't want, those are the people who are going to revolt.
Right.
But if you pacify them that nothing, like, dude, we got this, trust us, just hang out, chill, have a coffee, and we got this, right? That's what it is. Now, when I say that's Operation Trust, the reason that's really important is because what's being told, most of it is true, all right? Because that's how you corral conspiracy theorists. You got to give them the good shit, the street shit, the clean shit. Right. So they're like, dude, that adds up. Bang, bang, bang. It's all real. But then they put the crazy shit in there so that the normies run off. Like when they're like, Hillary's been arrested in Guantanamo and she's been executed. That's there to have normal people go, whatever. I just saw her give a speech. F you. I'm gone. So that's the purpose of that is to corral critical thinkers into being pacified and then run off normies to yell at conspiracy theorists. That's Operation Trust. It's happened tons of times throughout history. I just had Beck Lover on, and he was talking about.
He's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that guy's great. We had him on yesterday. Really great energy. But they've been running that forever to just pacify everybody. They tell you the truth, and then
they tell you the truth that they know sounds so fucking bonkers. You're just gonna ignore it.
Not to conspiracy theorists, but to normies. It's too much.
Right.
But there's also straight up lies, which is Hillary's been arrested and executed.
They throw that stuff in there
to run off the normies.
To run off the normies. Yes, exactly. Here's that. Okay, so what is this? What is this one? This is some sort of bank statement where, okay, it does say Baal a bunch of times. Baal insurance.
But that is a
BBB.
1.
Oh, that is a 1.
Yeah,
it does look
one.
like an L, though.
Because you have BAA 3 and then
But that
2.
could be it, too. They could have done that on purpose. That's who they worship.
So I had this dude Peter Levenda on the other day, and he was explaining to me about this guy Michael Aquino.
Yeah, dude.
And then Kurt Metzger was blowing me up last night, saying all this shit about how Michael Aquino, Levenda got it wrong. Aquino's a fucking sicko, and he was like,
hold on, what did this guy say about Michael Aquino? What did he say?
So this guy, I had this guy Peter Levenda who wrote a bunch of books about all this stuff. I don't know, you've probably heard of him, right?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm retarded.
So he was saying that he went with Michael Aquino to this event in Vegas, and he talked about all the stuff Michael Aquino used to do in his past and like Vietnam with like the psychological operations and stuff like that, saying, oh yeah, there are witches in the forest. And Michael Aquino was like a Satanist.
Yeah.
He had goofy eyebrows.
The worst eyebrows.
And
I don't trust anybody with those eyebrows.
and
how do you have horns in your eyebrows?
basically the gist of it was like, yeah, he was a Satanist, but like what normal everyday people think of as a Satanist is not what he was. He was just this goofy guy who played dress up and like took funny photos. Like he wasn't drinking baby's blood and like he wasn't doing all this crazy evil stuff. People accused him of like children and stuff like that apparently, but there was no proof, there was no evidence. Like this is what Peter Levenda was telling me, and Kurt was telling me last night, he's like, you got fucking lied to, bro.
Yeah. I mean, 100%.
I mean, I don't look at the guy and think that he's innocent of anything, but especially
that guy was straight up into the dark arts and hurting children. I mean, it's pretty well known. Here's the problem with everybody, and you know, you have this certain segment on Twitter, Trump's not a part of this, Trump isn't any of this, where's the proof, right? And the problem with that is you're expecting, I mean, by all accounts, we can all agree that the DOJ is protecting people. Is that a crazy statement?
It's a fair assessment.
Okay, it's a fair assessment, right? We have this fair assessment. So what you're expecting is the people that are protecting the pedos to release actual information that takes out the pedos. It's kind of like back in the day when we would, you know, when you're a conspiracy theorist and you're like, the media is lying to you, and then your normie friend would go, send me a link. And what they mean by link is send me a link from a mainstream media source, which is saying a mainstream media source is lying to us. It's not going to happen. Same thing with these dumps. Now, if you're asking me, we got 3.5 million emails, and you know, I've been talking about this on stage. It's like, I don't even know how Epstein had time to children with sending all these emails. That seems like a full-time job, right? It's like,
he's sitting there with his glasses down, like,
yeah, it's just 1,000 more to go, and then it's gonna be fun time, you know. I don't know, but if you take, so there's this weird thing where they're saying only 2% of the files have been sent out, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's 3.5 and that's 6 million.
So there's 440 something thousand emails, but there's 3 million files.
Well, that's what we're kind of getting into. The last 98% of the files, I think, are video files. And I've been telling people that's where the really dark shit is.
Yeah.
That's where the stuff they don't want you to see.
Right.
And that's why they're dragging their heels on it.
Well, did you see, there was a story that came out this morning on Dropsite News where they were saying, it was either this morning or it was yesterday morning, where they came out with evidence from the Israeli embassy in New York was wiring Epstein's apartment with surveillance. And they had like all the emails to prove it.
Yeah.
Not the big apartment, but he had another apartment, like a smaller apartment for guests to stay at.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So there's absolutely.
And then they were running it after he got arrested. They were running that forever. Still, like even maybe after his death, they were still running surveillance on that shit.
Right.
That's what they do. This is a blackmailing account. This is how they do it. And they've been doing it forever.
Remember a few years ago when some high-profile media personalities and medical professionals were putting the spotlight on ivermectin? They called out the establishment, and then boom. Millions of people who had never even heard of the drug got super curious. What if I told you 80% of the world's ivermectin supply comes from Asia, but not at the wellness company? Introducing American-made ivermectin. Safe, trusted, tested, and produced locally right here in Florida. Ivermectin has been prescribed globally for more than 30 years and even earned a Nobel Prize in medicine for its proven ability to eliminate parasites. But after treating a recent serious respiratory virus and other illnesses, emerging research shows that this wonder drug can help with everything from rosacea, arthritis, and even cancer. Most pharmacies charge $5 a tablet for 12 milligrams or less, but the wellness company is offering a higher 18 milligram dose for just $3.57 per tablet. You'll get a 6-month supply of 84 tablets, all at an unbeatable price. Support American medicine and patriot doctors, not China's supply chain. Get your US-made ivermectin today at twc.health/Danny and use the code Danny to save $30 off. Again, that's twc.health/Danny and use the code DANNY to save $30 off. US residents only.
And again, going back to what everybody, like, where's the proof of Donald Trump is involved? And like I would say, you know, I would rather be pleasantly surprised than, you know, sadly disappointed, right? So my take is what you're expecting is a guy that was surrounded by blackmailers and files to be some lighthouse in a sea of shit. Like you're expecting this is like an anomaly.
Right.
And there's a lot of people putting their whole reputations on this point, that there's no proof that he was involved, you know? And I'm like, that's a dangerous game to play.
Very dangerous.
Because you don't know this dude. You don't know him personally. He's playing an archetype for you, a hero, and you're investing all of your career collateral betting on this dude, even though everyone around him was, I mean, if you look at the last like 5 or 6 presidents, you know, they all have a file scandal, with the exception of one, which is George Bush Jr., who happened to kill 2 million Iraqis, right? But he's the only one I haven't heard that's involved in any of this.
Right.
You know, George Bush Sr. is involved with the Franklin scandal. You know, Clinton's involved with the Epstein scandal.
Yep.
Obama is involved with Pizzagate. You know, and then Trump's also involved with the Epstein stuff. But you're expecting this guy to be completely an anomaly in this.
What do you make of Trump being the only person who was subpoenaed by Brad Edwards in 2008 to come to call him up and be like, I'll sit with you and talk for as long as you want? All the other people had ignored the subpoena.
Yeah, I've seen that. And that is a big reason why I kind of was like, maybe he wasn't involved.
Or
you know,
maybe
the
he
lawyer
was trying to get out in front of it.
100%. I mean, if you look at that Lubkick guy, like that guy will lie right to your face.
Howard Lutnick.
Yeah, I mean, it's like crazy how dark that guy is. One of the biggest psychopaths we ever seen. So it's interesting, man. If you want to get ahead of it, you know, you kind of step forward. That's definitely what kicks this off, right? So Michael Wolff just gave an interview sitting in his chair, and he basically confirms that the fallout is over Mar-a-Lago. He's like a real estate
Trump's fallout with him?
Yeah. Well, Epstein is he backdoors Epstein on this property.
Yeah.
And that's when war happens. And they've been going back and forth. So the question is, why didn't the Democrats release any of this stuff, you know, while Joe Biden was in? And the answer is because
they're implicated too.
They're implicated
There's
too.
no left and right aren't real.
Right. That's the biggest thing. If you're fighting over right and left, you're fighting over black and white, straight and gay, you've already lost.
You're not supposed to. We're not supposed to be fighting left and right. We're supposed to be fighting up.
100%. And these people can't even understand that. So everyone's asking, like, why isn't there any protest fighting protesting the people who eat children. I'm like, well, because the people who eat children are the ones funding the protests. That's why. None of this is organic.
Right.
The only organic one I saw was my friend Scotty the Kid created a march against child sex trafficking about 5 years ago. And like I was a part of that. We only expected a couple hundred people, and like thousands of people showed up. He's got another one coming March 7th. It's going to be a big one again, but none of it's organic. There's this whole thing. People really they really defend their culture. Like everyone's defending their culture. Most of your culture is contrived in think tanks, pushed forward by intelligence operations, right? I mean, people, I know you just had Kurt Metzger on, and he was like, everyone's like, oh, how are you going to know it's real?
I haven't had him on yet.
Okay.
He's coming.
But he's been saying, I've been saying it for a while, you've never known what was real, ever. Your entire culture, and I'm not talking any one race or anything, the entire thing is astroturfed, and it's been manipulated by intelligence agencies. The entire 60s and 70s, all the bands were CIA projects. OnlyFans is most likely CIA at a minimum, and it's got to be an intelligence.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? And then you have these chicks who make all this money, right? She's like, oh, I'm making $60 million a year. Yeah, because it's a operation to convince girls they could make this kind of money. And then they get into the porn industry and their life goes to shit.
It could be a foreign intelligence operation.
Well, I mean, the guy gives more money to AIPAC than anybody else.
The guy who owns OnlyFans?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. He's the number one donor.
Holy shit. Going back to the Trump stuff, Trump he has to be the most polar president of my lifetime. No president I've ever heard talk more about polls than Donald Trump, or is more hyper aware of polls than Donald Trump. Except for one poll with his base, which is the Epstein stuff and the Israel stuff. He is Helen Keller when it comes to that.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Why the fuck is that? It's the only one that he's completely blind to.
Listen, I think there's a part of Trump that just wants to be loved. He's always liked to be loved. He's always liked to be popular. He's always liked to be included. And, he wants to be a loved president. And, people are going to lose it on me. But if I look back at all the presidents, I would probably take Trump over everybody since JFK. Maybe Jimmy Carter. Somebody came on my podcast the other day, said he was a robot. Jimmy Carter died and they replaced him with a robot.
Yeah.
Now, you could say that's crazy, and I'm not saying it's not crazy. But, man, if you watch those robots walking, they look exactly like Joe Biden when he was walking. And, there was 7 Bidens, dude. There was black Biden. I don't know if you saw him give him an interview. It was like the mask goes to here and then you see black skin under here. There's Nephilim Biden. There was when he was 7 foot tall Biden. There was fucking smooth leg Biden who looked like he had 20-year-old legs on that bike. I mean.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
I mean, dude, anything's on the table right now.
Look, just because we're calling it like we see it with Donald Trump does not mean that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden would have been better candidates.
They would be way worse. And listen, the difference between Trump's cabinet,
you can hold two thoughts at once.
100%. The difference between Trump's cabinet and Kamala Harris's cabinet is that Kamala Harris's cabinet would be fat feminist, trans,
right,
and DEI, and then Trump's cabinet is just closeted people.
Right.
That's the difference. In the end, you always get gay.
In the end, you always get gay. Why is that?
Because it's sexually compromised.
What is it? Did you see the Howard Lutnick, Tom Pritzker email? The dude who's the chairman of Hyatt Hotels.
What'd he say?
There's an email and he goes way back with Epstein. He emailed him on his birthday, said, "Hey, Jeff, I'm in Afghanistan right now in the desert. Petraeus just let me borrow a helicopter and I'm going to play with some boys and some toys."
That's the whole thing, dude.
This dude's worth, how much is Thomas Pritzker worth? Google that. This dude is one of the biggest Democratic political donors. His brother's, I think, the mayor of Chicago. And he's talking about
there's crazy.
There's no misinterpretation when he talks to being in the desert in Afghanistan and boys. Like all the tier 1 operators I've heard talk about what happens with boys in Afghanistan.
Dude, I've been to Afghanistan.
Have you really?
It's called Man Loves Thursdays.
6.3 billion.
I mean, that family is crazy. Have you seen the brother sister?
No.
Their trans sister?
No, I have not.
Oh my God! Dude.
Wasn't she in the Obama cabinet? Wasn't she the Secretary of Commerce for Obama?
I'm not sure about that, but she's like helping fund all this trans shit, which is crazy because Epstein is right in the middle of the trans stuff. Like he's funding this ideology.
Yeah.
Which is again.
Oh, Jennifer, is that her?
Yeah. No, that's her.
Oh, Born James.
Yeah.
Born James Nicholas Pritzker.
Yeah, I've been talking about this on stage.
Holy shit.
This is my theory on the trans stuff. I mean, crazy, right? I'd fuck me.
Oh my God.
I've been talking about this on stage about how the trans issue comes down to one thing and one thing only, passability. Like, if you look like a hot chick, you can stay. If you look like a haunted scarecrow, get the fuck out of the woman's bathroom. Don't even use the guy's bathroom. Go shit in the woods, Sasquatch.
I mean, Jesus Christ, bro.
I mean, just a fucked up family, dude. I mean, just a effed up family, dude. These Democrats are crazy.
Didn't they come from, like, ancient Ukraine originally?
Probably. I mean, it's all like... So my thing about Epstein, to follow that point, is like, why Epstein? Why did they pick Epstein? Like, what is that thing that gets him into that investment firm and teaching at Bill Barr's father's place? Because he didn't have any credentials to be there.
Right.
Why did they pick him?
In the very beginning, why did they pick him?
So everything, dude, is about data. Like, I'm sure you've had people on talking about they're part of the GATE program and all that stuff. They've always been just studying data. And the whole thing is like, who is the psychopath and who is compromised sexually? If they find that person, they push them forward.
That's the person you want for intelligence. Someone
P. Diddy, right? P. Diddy's working for, what's his face, at the record label, catches an essay case.
Is this the guy we were just talking about yesterday, the Def Jam guy? The guy who escaped.
Tony something.
Yeah, he went to some other country. Here he went to Indonesia or Bali or something.
Yeah, so he's working with this guy, catches an essay case, gets fired supposedly, and then somehow gets funds to start Bad Boy Records. Mm-hmm. But they got him. We're gonna get you out of this, but you got to basically play ball. Same thing with Bill Clinton. It's either Princeton or Oxford. I forget which of the schools he went to. But he catches an essay case real early and somehow gets out of it. And now he's on this journey. He's completely compromised. Same thing with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg catches a murder case. They have him dead to rights. Somehow he gets out. Now he's watching figure skating twinks do backflips at the Olympics, right? They push you forward. And the minute he came out and said, why is there gay stuff in this kid's movie? He got pounded on. And Snoop Dogg, they made him write a song for a gay cartoon, all that stuff. Again, he's watching figure skaters do backflips. And by the way, liking figure skating makes you gay. I'm gay as shit because that stuff's amazing. I don't want to shit on figure skaters because that shit is ice ninja stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely
incredible.
It's super athletic,
right? But they compromise you, and that's what it is. They just study everybody. They find out who the psychopaths are, who are the ones who will stab their own mother for power and success.
And you think they saw that in Epstein early?
There has to be that.
Yeah.
Why is he there? Why did they put him in this investment firm, or why they hire him at the school?
Yeah. Spring is right around the corner, and I'm very excited because I can't wait to tell all my gym buddies about my favorite deodorant, Mando. You see, I wipe Mando on Steve during podcast breaks because he doesn't know that there's better options out there that don't dribble down your armpits halfway through the day. I love Mando's deodorant plus sweat control solid stick. It's super tough. It sticks to me and doesn't sweat off, and it lasts longer than I do at the gym. Plus, it's the healthiest deodorant I've found. I'm a big fan of their bourbon leather scent, and I look forward every day to pulling off that lid and giving it a nice whiff. And if you order now using my code, you get 20% off. From your pits to your package and everywhere in between, Mando controls body odor for 72 hours, which is perfect for long workouts or running from the feds. It's clinical strength, 2 times better than the standard. And after just 12 hours, sweat was reduced by 92%. And it doesn't just mask odor, it prevents odor. 100% of study participants experienced all-day odor protection. All their products are baking soda free and paraben free, including their bar, because even this is clinically proven to control odor better than shower soap alone. Some men mask their BO with scents. Mando men get the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. Available in retailers near you, or head to shopmando.com. Because for a limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. That's code DANNY at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. It's linked down below. Now back to the show. And why do you think, like, how did he get connected with Robert Maxwell?
So this is an interesting thing. So in the files, there is an email from the Rothschild to somebody else talking about Hitler, right? And how their family funded Hitler. And everyone's been saying that forever. Mm-hmm. And then we get yelled at that it's anti-Semitic or some shit like that. But like Hitler's father was the bastard son of a woman who was the housekeeper of a Rothschild. In a weird way, he's like a bizarro Jon Snow, right? Like, remember Jon Snow?
Oh, yeah,
like
of course. Yeah.
The bastard son, but he's really the king in the bloodline-wise. That's Hitler. So everybody, like, I have good friends of mine that just have a visceral reaction to that because they want to believe Hitler's like the hero, and he's totally not. Right. He's taking all this banker money. So they always take care of their own. It's bloodline shit. They always take care of their own. And she talks about how Hitler was in one of their houses for like homeless youth and shit like that, and he's selling paintings and stuff like that, and that's how they move him forward. He's charismatic, and what they want you to believe is that he somehow rose up in this completely locked down country. World War I, World War II is all about the Greater Israel Project. That's what it's about. Get Palestine from the Turkish Empire, destroy the Turkish Empire, and then World War II is about sending all the Jews to Palestine. So, you know, he was completely and utterly a PSYOP. And people get really angry about that. You're like, well, you know, the Germany's economy was going great. Well, you have to do that. You have to get the Germans behind this guy, so when they know war's coming, they'll go sacrifice their life for greater Germany.
Right.
That's the game that's played. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the reason I bring this up back around is because in the email, she says that the Rothschilds and the Epsteins funded Hitler. So the question becomes, is this Epstein's? And then you got this guy who rose to prominence and is like the center of this global blackmailing financial empire. You know, that's the question. Does
he have a bloodline? Does Epstein have family that goes back that far?
So you look at you look up who Epstein is. They do this with Larry Fink too from BlackRock. They're like, he just came from modest, beginnings. You know, his parents were like shoe cobblers, and he just worked his way up. No, dude, that's not how it works, man. They do that with everybody. They sold us on that.
That's what happened with the Pritzkers too. I heard in Whitney Webb's book, she writes about that, how the Pritzkers tried to rewrite their history and make it look like they came out of Canada.
Dude, Elon Musk, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
What's his face from Amazon?
Bezos, yeah. Oh, his dad was in DARPA or something?
His dad helped fund DARPA. And you see him, everyone's like, it worked. You ever see that funny meme that says, like, all these billionaires say they started in a garage?
Yeah.
And then the garage is just all Freemason, satanic symbolism in the garage. So they gave it to him. Amazon was created in DARPA. They gave it to the guy. They're like, okay, you're the guy. you're the crazy enough to pull this thing off. They give them the project. They start with books because nobody gives a shit about books.
Right.
Nobody's following it. They work out the kinks with books. And once that gets to the point where it's like fully functional, now they put it out to everywhere. So COVID comes and they shut down everything. And this is how crazy it is. I remember being in Hollywood, driving down Lancashire Street, which a couple comedy clubs are on, the Ha Ha Cafe. I play there a lot. And there's a giant sign that from Amazon Fresh says, "We're still open." And you're like, dude, that is basically a giant F you to all the other businesses that have to shut down.
What was the business?
Amazon Fresh.
Amazon Fresh.
Which is their grocery store.
Oh, okay. We don't have any of those down here.
Yeah, we have them in LA.
Okay.
So people always go, why does Amazon not have to pay a lot of taxes? Well, why would an extension of the government have to pay taxes to the government?
Right.
It's the same thing with Facebook, same thing with Google. They're all extensions of the U.S. government. They're
Yeah.
CIA money. The whole Facebook movie is a giant lie. It's a propaganda piece. It wasn't like, oh my God, this autistic guy named Mark Zuckerberg just came up with this great idea. No, dude, that was a Pentagon program called LifeLog. You've heard this, right?
No.
You haven't heard this?
I've not heard this one.
You haven't heard about LifeLog?
No.
Okay. LifeLog is a Pentagon program that wants to basically collect all your data for your whole life.
Okay.
All right. So look this up. What day did the government stop the LifeLog project? It's like February, either 9th or 7th or 13th, one of those dates.
Wow. There you go.
Okay, what day is it?
US government specifically?
February 4th. Okay, now...
Whoa. DARPA shut down the LifeLog project February 4th, 2004.
Now do me a favor and look up what day was Facebook registered as a business.
Oh my God. No way, bro. February 4th, 2004.
The exact same day. They don't even hide it, dude. They didn't even wait a day.
Oops.
Facebook is a government
It was
program.
created by DARPA.
Yeah. And then they handed it to Mark Zuckerberg. And then the Vossel twins.
What about
or
the other? Yeah.
That's all bullshit. That's all just theater. That's just theater to create a story. And that's why they became the first Bitcoin millionaires, because they played ball.
Oh my God.
It's all theater, dude.
So what is the purpose of LifeLog?
Is this to collect all your data for your whole entire life.
Wow.
And then they're like,
And now they own Instagram.
They own Instagram, Facebook, they own WhatsApp.
They own WhatsApp. Yep.
They own all of it, dude. They're collecting all your data all the time, which seems incredibly boring to me. But
Well, it's like, yeah. I mean, but the future is all going to be collecting data, biometric data on everybody. That's where all the money is going to be.
so the key isn't that they're monitoring you all the time. That would be impossible. Even with AI, it's impossible to monitor you all the time. What they're doing is waiting till you either become a problem or could be an asset. And then they go through your data going, what weird shit can we get this guy on? Bang,
Well,
bang, 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 bang.
Did you, so you're aware of like Apollo Global and Leon Black and all that stuff?
No,
So Leon Black is one of the guys that was tied in with Jeffrey Epstein. He created this investment company called Apollo Global based in New York. There's this journalist named Henry Abbott who runs an NBA podcast, an NBA website called True Hoop. It's been around forever. It used to be run by ESPN. ESPN dropped it in like the 2000s or whatever, for whatever reason. And he kept it on by himself ever since. And after Epstein died, he started looking into, he's like, He's like, this company Apollo Global, there's all these NBA owners who are invested in Apollo Global. The Josh Harris from the Phillies, or from the Philadelphia Sixers, are all like tied into this Apollo Global company with this guy Leon Black, who we know is attached to Epstein. So he follows that thread. And before he knows it, he gets so deep into the connection with all of these dudes who own NBA franchises are connected to this other company, this other bank called Dunham Lambert or something like that, Drexel Lambert or something like this. And then he starts Apollo Global, and that money all comes from like France. It's like this weird little connection to a French bank. And then Bannon is connected to it because he was working for another investment company, or I forget the company he was working for, another big bank. And it basically ties all these people together through all these banks, if you follow the money, into this company, Apollo Global, that Leon Black, and if you Google Leon Black, there's some like horrendous accusations against him with like children and shit.
It's the currency to the highest level of, it's the initiation into the highest level.
And they found out that Leon Black purchased LifeTouch, the company that takes all the photos of all the children at all the schools.
All the yearbook.
All the yearbook photos are LifeTouch. And that's owned by that dude.
Yeah.
That company, Apollo Global, that's connected to Epstein.
I do a show called Whatever This Is with two really great researchers, my friend Austin Picard and Brett Binkley. And Austin was talking about how there was this gets really dark, so sorry, but basically this file ring would take pictures of kids and they would load it up and allow people to bid on them. And then they would kidnap them. Like, that's how dark it gets.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, dude. So, everyone's like, what are we going to do with this? What we're going to do with this is we're going to be aware that we have monsters around us.
Yeah.
We have monsters around us. But back to you talking about the banking and all the owners. So, this kind of leads into the Bad Bunny halftime show. And like this cultural war that happened with it, right? And you're like, why are you having the number one show in America where 80% of the country speaks English? Why are you having a Spanish speaker who does no English songs?
Well,
and go on.
No, continue. Sorry.
Nothing in English, and then not even give us the subtitles. Well, because the truth is that these owners of all these franchise are masters of mankind. They're all in tech. They're all in oil. They're all in real estate. They're all in arms dealerships. I mean, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant are all are own part of Israeli arms dealerships, right? So like they're all in on it. So why do they want chaos? Why do they want people fighting? So that we fight with each other and we don't, like you said earlier, and we don't look up. Mm-hmm. That's the whole purpose of that halftime show. Listen, he's got fat ass Latinas on there. I'm all in, dude. You got me at fat ass Latinas. I would love to know what you're singing about. Now, I cleaned up some of the lyrics because one of the songs, if he actually did the song, was about putting dicks in butts. The song is about him just singing dicks in butts.
Yeah.
They cleaned that up, and I don't think he said that. But he was swearing left and right, like swearing in Spanish, which is like, where is that allowed anywhere else?
See, I was talking to somebody the other day who is a boomer, and I don't think I want to tell who this person is. I don't want to sell them out, but they're in their early to mid 60s, and I casually just brought up the whole Epstein thing to them, and it seems to me like these people are checked out. They're not interested in the Epstein stuff. It's people of that age group, where it's like, how does this affect my life? I'm fucking busy. I'm more worried about the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny than I am worried about the Epstein files. How fucked up is it that there has this guy speaking Spanish during my halftime show at my Super Bowl? And it's like, and this guy literally told me, he goes, I think the Epstein files are a distraction. Like, these people believe this, and they're
legit, but it could be a distraction from something bigger. Right? Mm-hmm. Like if everyone's focused on these things as they should be, could it be that the Epstein files basically say that Epstein and Bill Gates created the whole COVID situation? Like, I mean, there are other things. You notice nobody's talking about Israel and Palestine anymore. For a while there on Twitter, that's all everybody talked about. Nobody's talking about that anymore. Everyone's talking about Epstein. But again, it goes back to what you were saying about everybody hating Israel. That I think that's a part of this as well. It's just to piss off everybody at Israel, so everyone goes to war with Israel because these crazy old guys want the end of days. They've been hanging around they're 90. The end of days hasn't happened. They're like, wrap it up. Let's go,
bring the
right?
Antichrist.
Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So that's a big part of it as well. There could be something to that, but the fact that people are like, I don't care about these files. You know, I've said this before. Every society needs to have 4 pillars for it to function. We must condemn and outlaw stealing, unnecessary violence, hurting children, and we must shun lying. And we can get into like which side is lying more, because I think both sides are doing it. But there's definitely one side that is way more focusing on destroying these archetypes and institutions that we have, which is involved stealing, violence, and hurting children, you know? So we must protect children at all cost. At all costs. So anybody, I don't know if this guy has kids. A lot of people that don't have kids don't care about this because it doesn't affect their life.
Right.
But we must protect kids at all cost.
I think these people are trying to cope because they're big Donald Trump supporters.
Yeah. And they can't come to grips with it.
Right.
That this guy that was seen as this savior.
This guy I was talking to was a huge Trump supporter.
Yeah. And it's just like, why wouldn't you want to know that?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to know that? Why wouldn't you want to know that kids were being forced to do things they don't want to do? That's the whole thing. Like my kids are, I have 2 kids that are just turned 6. They have no say.
Twins?
Yeah, I have twins.
Wow.
I love them.
That's awesome, dude.
So, you know, it's like if I tell them to go to bed, they're going to bed. That's how it is. Go to fucking bed, man. You know, and because we're dads, we got to be the villain.
Right.
Right. Mommy is pure love. Daddy is the villain. Right. But that's my role. I got to be the bad guy.
Yeah. You got to
But
balance
it's like
it out.
when I say do something, do it.
Yep.
Right.
Mommy's comfort, daddy's uncomfort.
Yeah. And you know, this notion that we got to be best friends with our kids is the most stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. Your job is you're basically taming wild animals. They come out of the womb and they're crazy, dude. And you got to get them ready for the real world.
Yeah, bro.
And basically prison is a bunch of people that never were taught how to function in society, you know? And so not to get into the abortion thing, I'm not going to talk about that, but you know, you have a bunch of people that are pro-life that just want the kid to be born and then they don't seem to care about what happens after that.
Right.
I mean, if you study like the percentage of children that go missing out of foster, like in the country, like 80% of it's foster care. The people you see on the streets are from foster care. The people in prison, most of them are from foster care. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, to raise a child needs to be surrounded by love. So listen, in my opinion, and this is where I might lose people, like I was very a pro-choice person for a long time, for a very long time. And there's still part of me that doesn't believe the government should ever be allowed to tell you what you can or cannot do with your body. That's a part of me. But I'm really more and more starting to think this whole abortion thing is sacrifice to Moloch. I know it sounds crazy. You could laugh. I know you tried not to. I saw you working really hard on that. But I'm telling you, bro.
I was trying to hold it in.
That's fine. And believe me, saying this, like fucking 6 months ago, I'd be like, you're a crazy person.
Right.
But the more and more I study this shit, I think there's very dark stuff. Do you know how many abortions happened in 2005? 25?
2025? No, how many?
Take a guess. Just throw out a number.
How many abortions in America?
In the world?
Oh my God.
Take a guess. Throw out a number. And then add even more to it. Whatever number you have, add even more to it.
How many abortions happened in 10 million?
In the world.
In the world.
Now add more to that. Just add a couple more to it.
25 million.
70 million. 70 million in the world. Gone.
Wow.
I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, but what? Like, but there's like a difference. Like, there's early and late. Like they're not all fully formed babies.
Listen, we can sit there and do all the fine print to it. Incest.
Approximately 73 million induced abortions take place worldwide each year, according to the WHO.
God damn. They were talking about Gen Z. 25% of it's already gone based on this.
Really?
Look at that. Foster care to prison pipeline. And I just told you that.
Wait,
dude.
what is it saying about foster care? Foster care to prison pipeline. The fifth figure highlights foster care to prison pipeline, where former foster youth are significantly overrepresented in the criminal justice system due to trauma and lack of stability. Right. So the people that grow up without parents are ending up in prison.
Yeah. It's dark, dude. It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these kids, that's why I have a lot of sympathy for people on the streets, dude. Some of them didn't even have a chance.
I've always had a problem with keeping my firearm in reach and safe around the kids, and keeping it in the closet is just too far away. I remember finding my parents' firearm as a kid, and I don't want that happening with me. And this is exactly what Stopbox USA has solved with their Stopbox Pro. The customizable 5-button pattern is 100% mechanical to open, and the best part is you don't have to fumble around with a keypad or a combination lock in the dead of night. And what a relief that it doesn't operate off of a battery. It stays under the pillow for fast access, and the best part, I love that it's safe around the kids. I never have to choose between security and readiness again. I love how well it's made, and when I travel, it slips right into a bag. No need for a separate bulky Pelican case. This is the hands down best solution I have found, and I'm really happy to have Stopbox sponsoring the show. Stopbox is made in the USA, and it's tariff-free. Stopbox is also TSA compliant, so you don't need a separate carry case. They also have a wall-mounted version and one for easy access in cars. No longer do you have to trade safety for speed and readiness. And for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Stopbox when you use the code Danny at checkout. Head on over to stopboxusa.com and use the code DANNY for 10% off your entire order. And after you purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. Please support the show by telling them we sent you.
It's all spiritual, bro. Everything's a spiritual war. Everything's spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's a war, good versus evil.
Yeah.
Humanity versus these fallen angels.
Mm-hmm.
That's everything. Baal worship goes all the way back to the Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that comes from. You know, Nimrod. That's it, dude. That's why all these headquarters of these major fucking corporations, they look just like fucking the Tower of Babel, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time. I just have a hard time processing some of like the ancient demigods or demons being connected to modern times. That stuff just sort of like breaks my brain a little bit.
Yeah, because it's so much, and it's like, again,
and it's like also misinterpreting what the shit really was.
In what sense?
And like, we don't know, like, for example, like, just because there's some deity that came from the ancient Canaanites and we read some fucking Wikipedia translation of what that deity did does not mean that's what the deity was. It's like we're putting this fucking bumper sticker label on what we want it to mean, right? Like, okay, the devil, right? Some people who like rock and roll music think the devil is cool because like it's like an attitude, or it's just like your attitude towards society. You're rebellious or whatever. That doesn't mean you like sucking the blood of babies, right?
Well, I mean,
and like there's different people. I've talked to a lot of different like religious experts and stuff, and they all have different perspectives on what different biblical or pagan religion deities were or represented.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like one of the most popular ones is Prometheus.
Yeah.
Prometheus and Lucifer have the same exact story.
Yeah.
Identical stories. Prometheus is the guy in Greek myth who saved humanity from Zeus and then got chained to the top of the mountain for eternity to die every day. So like you could easily connect. Like those two are the same exact story. So the devil is the one who saved humanity, and Zeus is the one who tried to kill us all. So that's where my wires start to get crossed.
I understand what you're saying, and that's a great point. But so, do you believe in the fallen angel story?
Believe in it? I don't know.
Because if you study, again, if we're going back to philosophies and religions that predate the Abrahamic religions, Vedic astrology, Hinduism,
Right.
okay, they both talk about God casting down entities trapped down here.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
So it's not just an Abrahamic thing.
No. Yes. I know. I believe. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So the question becomes,
There's something weird there. I don't know what it is.
and when you go to Bohemian Grove, there's a giant owl right there, and the weird shit happening there. So whether it is the real story or not, these people are worshiping a narrative.
Yes.
And then we got to go, were the Canaanites sacrificing children? Were the Israelites sacrificing children? Did they take pagan gods? Is that why they were cast out of Israel? Like that's the question you have to ask. Are those stories true? And then you take a look at like the Nazis and how they were just consumed with the occult.
Yeah.
And finding all these both Christian and occult symbolism, trying to find all the thing that they stabbed Jesus with. Like they were consumed with that. Find the covenant. They were consumed with that. That's what they did. So I understand what you're saying, and we could get really lost in the hysteria of that.
Yeah.
But there seems to be recorded history, which says a lot of this stuff is happening. And when you study the elites, I've always said this, man, the J World Order is really easy to like get behind. It's like, it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Again, going back, Israel wants everybody to hate Israel, low hanging fruit.
Right.
But when you study these people, they give you the symbol. You can see the symbols. You know, when you're watching John Lennon on some MTV thing with a chick and she's like, bang, right? You're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Well, I mean, dude, like I said, like back to the beginning, that fucking Pax Judaica theory it makes so much goddamn sense. Because 2 months ago, or 2 years ago, if you were to go out on the streets in Florida at least, and you ask 12 Jewish people, you want to go move to Israel right now? 9 of them would be like, fuck no, I'm not going back to Israel. One of them might be like, okay, cool, I'm down to go back to Israel. But like over the past 5 or so years, now that this stuff is like, you can't even go on the internet without seeing all kinds of fucking Jew hate, I can see that number going a lot higher. Like those people being like, okay, yeah, I might be down to go to Israel. I might feel safer. Like I was talking to one of my really good Jewish buddies the other morning, and he's like, dude, I've been thinking about this so much lately. He's like, all of my clients, 95% of whom are Jews, the Jews are the rudest ones of all of them. And I asked my rabbi, I said, Rabbi, you always preach about we have to stop, we have to fight anti-Semitism, and we have to be aware of it and try to like subvert anti-Semitism at all costs. But like, I really get frustrated when all of the people I know, all of the wealthy Jews I know are so rude to everyone that works for them. And he's like, how do we stop this? And like, you can see I can really hear his frustration with it. And, it just seems like it's spiraling out of control to where I could probably see, and like, if this thing keeps going the way it's going, in like 5 years, they could probably get a lot of their diaspora to move back to Israel.
I understand that, and you're totally right about that. And I don't know how deep you want to go into that. But Israel is losing a lot of their population. They're jumping on planes and going to other places. That's a big
right
problem.
now?
Yeah. They're losing a lot of their population. It's actually blowing up in their face. So I have a buddy of mine. We moved to LA together named Scott Ross. He owns 10th Planet Ventura, one of my best friends.
The jiu-jitsu place?
Yeah, he owns a 10th
really?
Man Jiu-Jitsu. Like we joined Eddie Bravo's first school together, and because I was running and gunning with drugs, I quit. He stayed with it, and he got his black belt. Like I have very little regrets. I have two. I left my mom too early, and I quit Eddie's school too early. Now I'm back in it. I'm 53, trying to do jiu-jitsu.
Are you?
I'm fat and old, dog. But
Do you go every week?
I go. I try to do twice a week.
Twice a week.
Dude, my
Wow.
legs are dead after.
What belt are you?
I'm still white, bro. I'm still white. I mean, I would love to move up, but it's like it's not easy at 53,
You
dude.
can't rush it, right?
And no, it's not even that. I would love to rush it. I just can't. I'm like a glacier, dude. I'm
Right.
moving slow, and they throw me in the Shark Tank with these fucking 20-year-olds, and they
Right.
just murk me, dude. I'm just chum to these guys. I'm trying to do old man jiu-jitsu, but it's like it's just the athleticism. You know, we lose our athleticism
team up
around
with the older
35,
dudes.
right? But you know, my friend Scott said that to me a long time ago. It's like you have, you know, outside groups influence inside groups, right? Like a group, you have to have outside criticism,
Yes.
or else they'll never change. And a great example of that is prison, right? Where there's no real female, you know, representation in a male prison outside the female guards, but there's no females there to reward and punish behavior. So it becomes the most male version of men, right? Violence, essaying, all that stuff. That's the most male version.
Interesting.
Because there's no
Yeah.
female influence rewarding behavior.
right.
Well, take a look at all that. Take a look, you expand that to any other group. Like since the 80s, we've kind of had protected classes, right? And this is a big problem I have in comedy right now is that I don't believe in protected classes. I don't think anyone's above criticism
Right.
or above comedy. And there's a lot of people that don't agree with that. It's changing now, dude. It's really changing. Like the Comedy Store has gone through these kind of phases, and now we're back in the phase where people want the good shit. You know, the shit's
Really?
gotten so crazy. They want to hear the crazier shit. Because there was a while there, especially after COVID, it's not the Comedy Store fault. It was LA. LA was like in a weird place.
Yeah.
Right? And people were afraid of everything. Cancel culture really scared everybody. But the point of this is that if you create protected classes that can't get criticized from the outside, they start to just become this chronic, crazy version of themselves. You have to have outside influence. And since World War II, that's kind of been the Jewish population has been a very protected class because we don't want the Holocaust to happen again. So everyone's kind of like not allowed to criticize them. But now after October 7th, that's kind of changed. So when you say it's everywhere, what I would tell you is it's not special.
Right.
It's been, I mean, go back to 2015 with white people and Christians on Twitter. I know people in LA that have 6-figure writing jobs, and their whole Twitter was just teeing off on white people. And because Jack was running it, it was this thing would just made it look like he got 30,000 likes and 1 billion retweets, you know, and he's just like, F white people, all this shit. Oh my God, everyone loves it. So it's like you can't have protected classes because then you're gonna have people acting like fools. So I don't think it's unique.
Right.
I don't think it's only happened to this one group. And I could lose people on this, but if you go back to a lot of the anti-white, anti-Christian television shows, books and stuff, see who the authors are, see who the showrunners are. So I'm not saying it's unique to anybody. It's just new to us.
Right.
Because October 7th kind of changed the way in which we look at certain groups.
And one of the biggest things people don't see is that like Judaism, the Jews is not a monolith.
Yes.
There's very different. This is Gavin
There's
McInnes's
degrees.
take. He has a great take on this. There's the super wealthy Zionist Jews, the ones who fund politics, the billionaires. You have the Hasidic Jews who are running around New York doing all kinds of crazy things. They're kind of like in their own world. They're kind of in outer space.
The hockey puck head guys?
Yes, those guys. No one really talks to them. They kind of like stay in their own lane. And they kind of like,
just for giant hockey.
you know, they'll like do a nod and a handshake to the fucking Zionist
Got
Jews.
a couple tunnels.
Yep. You have like the crazy secular Jews who are like hardcore left wing Jews who are like super into like the BLM stuff and all that crazy stuff. There's
Tend to
so
be
many
atheists.
different flavors of Jews. It's crazy. It's not one big monolith that's controlling the world.
That's a great point. You know, it's like I have a show called Conspiracy Social Club, and my co-host is part Jewish, and he's very sensitive to it. But he's come around, dude. He's starting to come around. And I don't get mad at Jewish people when they can't come to grips with October 7th or Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Because since the moment they took their first breath, they've been just propagandized with this notion that everyone hates the Jews because they're successful. You know, it has nothing to do with anything they did. It just is like they're super successful, that everyone wants to kill them.
Right.
So they become very tribal. So it's very hard for them to criticize Israel because their DNA and their wiring is so Jewish. They've been traumatized. Like I had my buddy who's Jewish. His wife is Jewish. I love them. You know, she came on, told me. I was just I was interviewing her about she was an OnlyFans model at the time and the business of that. Like, what was that like? And then I asked her about being Jewish, and she told me that when she was a kid, her parents and her grandparents were telling her, you have to have 3 kids. One for each parent and one for a person lost in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Imagine telling somebody that at a very young age. So like it's very hard for them. So I have a lot of love and respect for them. It's not easy on them. But I will tell you this is like the farther up you go in any power pyramid, the crazier they get. On the base, it's just normal people. I talk about this all the time. Some of my favorite people to ever exist are Jewish. My girlfriend, I love her with all my heart. Mitzi Shore, the owner of the Comedy Store. You wouldn't even know me if it wasn't for the Shores.
Right.
They saved my life. When Hollywood blackballed me, the Shores, Mitzi Shore showed me a lot of love, and I'll never be able to pay her back from that. And then Jesus Christ, Jew, right? So like I love Jews. I root for Jews, right? But this notion of like we sit around and we're
like,
not,
if it rains on my birthday, it's the Jews.
Yeah, right. But there's also this like, you know, if we start noticing certain things, we get gaslit.
Yeah.
And it's basically this notion that you're not allowed, you can't believe your eyes, your ears, or the wisdom of your experiences. My whole opinion is no one's above criticism and nobody's above comedy. And people are waking up to what's going on. There's a lot of brave Jews out there calling out what Israel's doing to Palestine. And we should support them because it's a very hard thing to do. You're going to get excommunicated from a lot of your family and friends for just questioning a narrative. And that's every group, man. I mean, look at what's been done to white progressive women. Nobody hates their own more than white progressive women. Like every other demographic of female loves their people. Black women love black people.
Yeah.
You know, Latinas love Latins. Every group, white progressive women despise their own because a psychological warfare has been done on them. And the notion that all white people, and this is where I could lose some people. I'm sorry, but what Hollywood and the media tried to convince you white supremacy is really what Zionism is. And you can get angry at that statement, but they're tribal, they're elitist, they take care of their own, and there's a lot of racism from their point of view. When you think you're the chosen person, you don't think you don't think highly of other people. You know, and I just want to congratulate white people on getting their own racial slur. It took till 2026, but we got goy, dog.
We're goys,
Yeah, we got goys, dude.
Dude, pull up the conspiracy theory. There's something came out that I'm a goy. I was a genetically created podcast, Mossad podcaster by Epstein. I'm Epstein's child. I'm a goy slop podcaster.
Do you got an egg-shaped dick, dude?
Me and Jesse Michaels.
Dude, that is so hilarious.
Was Epstein genetically engineering goy slop conspiracy podcasters?
That is.
What does Rogan know?
Congratulations, you made it.
Oh, look, there's me when I was a kid.
That is
me and
so
Jesse.
Hilarious.
I love it, dude.
Who called you that?
I hope it's true.
Dude, do you know that there's a guy out there that thinks
his name's Museum of Tarot?
He's
been on this podcast and he made this.
After the podcast?
After, yeah.
You had him on and then shit talking.
He stopped answering my calls and then this comes out.
There's a guy out there that thinks I'm Sir Francis Bacon.
Really?
Yeah, he compared my picture to a drawing and he put it together. And I'm like, Sir Francis Bacon came up with like algebra and they think he's William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Like, what a downgrade to go from that guy to the functionally illiterate drug addict, dude.
Is he the guy who had the book on Atlantis?
I don't know, look it up. Like, the guy's an all-time great. And I flunked first grade. Like, how do you go from that to this, dude?
Dude, I would just roll with that if I was you.
I have, dude.
Is he connected to Atlantis at all?
I don't know, dude. But
See if you
everyone
find out,
thinks
Steve.
It's so funny.
Oh yeah, New Atlantis. The New Atlantis is an incomplete utopian novel by Sir Francis Bacon.
Should I finish it?
Yes, dude.
The rest of the pages is doodles.
Bro.
I'm just drawing stick figures.
Oh my God. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell was obsessed with finding Atlantis, by the way.
No, how about the new Ghislaine Maxwell in prison right now?
Oh, the new body double?
Fat nose?
Pull it up, dude. Pull up the side by side of the new Ghislaine Maxwell. So this was like a video deposition she just did or something.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it looks nothing like her.
She looks like some poor Filipino. They put a Filipino in there and has to.
Maybe she got beat up or something. Maybe she got a little roughed up in prison. And
she's allowed to have her dog and she's doing yoga classes.
Oh, is she?
Like it's like.
Yeah, it's true. She's
set up. But it's like I wouldn't doubt that. That's the thing with Jeffrey Epstein, dude. He's fucking chilling like in Antarctica playing video games right now.
Dude. That photo, I don't know if it's AI, but the photo of him walking with the two bodyguards and the long hair looks just like him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it.
You got to find the
No,
new.
go.
There it is. There's the video.
There it is right there.
Ghislaine Maxwell invokes Fifth Amendment. There you go. That's going to be a fucking...
video. Yeah, you'll get it's long. Oh, there it is. There's kind of a picture down there.
Yeah, there you go.
A
BBC.
fat nose. Yeah, look at that nose, dude.
Can you find a better image?
Look up. Look up Maxwell body double. See if that brings something up.
Oh, it's so low res.
But look at
It
that.
looks similar.
Look at that. No, but that
The nose is wider. The nose is definitely
that's
wider.
a fat nose.
Yeah.
Now, this is what people don't understand.
The ears look similar, don't
Ghislaine
they?
Maxwell was a smoke show. In her, like, have you ever seen
in her,
like her and her
30s?
sisters?
Yeah.
Her sisters are trolls.
Are they?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So like she was the honeypot and her sisters did all the work behind closed. It's like Snow White, right? Like she's the hot one. And then the other ones
look at
are
this.
like, got to get all the work done behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, look at that nose difference, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God. Well, the
That's-
ears are similar, but the nose is way off.
But you know, so the whole thing is like there's, you know,
Mouth,
you got
the lips are different.
Barry Weiss out there trying to say he's Russian asset.
Russian asset. Right.
But what I will
But
say
we
is
got the Israeli embassy in New York installing security at Epstein's apartments.
Yeah.
Must be Russia.
but it's like her father was a double agent.
Triple.
He worked for Russia too.
Yep.
So I wouldn't doubt if there's some stuff where he is working with Russia in some aspect.
Right.
But it's not his, you know, the main group that he's with. He's Mossad, obviously. Her father was working with everybody.
Yeah.
The weirdest shit is the Saudi. Like, have you ever studied the Saudis? It's
little
really
bit.
crazy shit. You know, the first king of the House of Saud was a British spy. He was installed. I mean, greatest gig ever, dude. Imagine you're just an agent. They're like, hey, dude, your assignment is you're going to go be the head of the House of Saud. And then all your family now is like trillionaires that give Cleveland steamers to Instagram hot chicks. Like, what a great gig, dude. What a great gig, dude. So, I mean, that's why when everyone goes J World Order, right? I go, dude, there's levels.
Yeah.
And I think at the highest is the Church of the British Empire. They're at the all these Zionists, Marxists, Freemasons, they're all middle management, dude. At the highest levels are the old banking families from Babylon.
Right.
And they include the Rothschilds.
Yep.
The Oppenheimers. Have you ever heard of the Oppenheimers? They were the ones that funded the Rothschilds. Going back to this Paul Bunyan story about Mayor Rothschild, who was like so smart, he took over a financial firm at like 12. Like it's just Paul Bunyan bullshit. He was just installed. He was put there because he showed the same kind of chutzpah that Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and all these guys, and they handed him the keys to the kingdom. Right. So, but at the top, it's all the old banking families. But really, the people who are running a lot of stuff is the British Empire. They've always done it. They destroyed India. They destroyed China. They destroyed Russia.
Right.
They destroyed Germany. They destroyed, and they're trying to do it in America right now. I think the only thing we have going for us compared to those other countries, we have the internet, and we could all talk to each other about what we're seeing, and people are waking up to this Bolshevik revolution that's happening in America right now. You have these people in Minneapolis acting like they're the resistance when they're working with Tampon Tim, who just stole all this tax money from you. Like, you're in a chat with some of the most corrupt politicians acting like you're a freedom fighter. You're not a freedom fighter.
Right.
You're a useful idiot, because if you were really fighting, you'd be fighting tax fraud and you'd be fighting file networks.
Right.
But you're not. You're fighting ICE. And here's the thing, everybody. It's all pro wrestling.
Yes.
Okay? Trump and Biden are working together. That's why they had to get Biden in. All right? They had to get Biden in because they need Biden to flood us with immigrants so that Trump could get back in and be the heavy hand with ICE. ICE is sledgehammer when they need a scalpel. But all this is done on purpose to get martial law. That's what they want. The goal is to destroy the Constitution, take away our constitutional rights, get rid of 1A.
Whose goal? Who's specifically?
The elites.
The British Empire.
The British Empire, but also the elites, too, of the country. They want to get rid of it. They want martial law. They want shit on lockdown.
The worldwide elites who are not tied to any. Their loyalty is not to any
anybody
nation
but
state.
themselves.
It's just they're above that.
Yeah, I mean, all the gold in Fort Knox is gone. It was taken before,
right,
when Nixon got in. It's a famous story. If you watch a really great content creators as Alt Control History. Andy's been doing a lot of great videos on this.
Control History.
Yeah, he's really great, dude. And he broke down about Fort Knox and how there was right before Nixon takes us off the gold standard onto oil, okay? He goes down to Fort Knox to check on the gold, and it's all gone. There's no gold in Fort Knox. So this anonymous letter gets sent to the New York Times or something like that. And it basically says that the Rockefellers stole all the gold and gave it to the elites of Europe. Well, 2 days later, they find out that the anonymous person is a secretary to the Rockefellers. And a day later, she's thrown off a balcony and dies.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So when Trump's like, we're gonna audit the Fort Knox, of course he didn't, because he knows there's no gold there.
Right.
It's been gone along. That's why we're on oil, because it's unlimited resources. You back it by gold, you have a limited amount of money you can print.
Right.
On with Saudi oil, you can print that shit forever, and that's what they're doing. Everything you hate in the world right now, dude, is funded by the Federal Reserve. Every time you look at something and you go, that doesn't make any sense, funded by the Federal Reserve. It's printed money. And they bribed everybody. All this stuff that just seems completely out of whack, all funded by the Federal Reserve. And that's what it is. They created it. They created it, hijacked it, and now they basically use our Federal Reserve and our military to control the world, which is, in a weird way, a sense why I don't think they'll ever really destroy America, because they do need those two things. But they're definitely pulling a Bolshevik revolution right now. And what they're trying to do right now is to destroy our traditional institutions and the archetypes in which we see the world. That's what the woke shit is. right? When you watch, like I was telling.
What do you mean archetypes? What archetypes? How we see
like
the
the
world?
hero, the villain, and all these things,
Good
like
and
the
evil.
mother, the father.
Sure.
Like they want to destroy all that.
Okay.
So we don't know what we're looking at.
Got it.
Like I can't watch a TV show now that doesn't have a lesbian action hero
Right.
who kicks everybody's ass. But if I tell my girlfriend she can't tell a story, she starts crying. Right? You know, it's like that. It's not reality. When you go,
Right.
what the fuck is that? And I remember this. I was watching one of the Star Wars shows on Disney, and there's a moment in which the female Jedis are riding these alien horses, and the chick, the wave model chick, is right, and the guy is riding bitch, holding on to her. And I remember like just looking at it going, that doesn't make any sense to me. I'd never seen that before, and that's what it's all about. Right? Traditional roles, male and female. So they want to destroy all that.
Right.
So we don't know what we're looking at.
Right.
And then we're confused. Our anxiety goes up. Because when our anxiety goes up, we end. Is this getting too weird?
No, I don't think so. This is a par for the course. What? So if those people are trying to do that, how do you square that with the fact that Peter Thiel is trying to get everyone to read the Bible?
Well, I mean, like I don't know how much of that's true. I mean, like JD Vance is like do you ever hear the excerpt in JD Vance's book
No,
where he's
I've
like,
never
I
read
thought
his
I
book.
was gay.
No, I didn't see that.
Look it up. He thought he was gay, and Peter Thiel talked him out of it.
What?
Yeah, which sounds like to me somebody got in somebody's guts and like, did you like it? He's like, no, you're not gay. You know what I'm saying? Like this Clavicular guy, he's now supposedly getting paid by Peter Thiel. This guy's, do you know who I'm talking about?
No,
The
I have
looksmaxxing
no
guy?
idea.
Do you know who the looksmaxxing guy is? Do you
No.
know? Can you look up the looksmaxxing guy, that Clavicular or whatever his name is?
Look what?
It's called looksmaxxing.
Lookmaxxing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that?
I've not heard of
That's
that.
what the kids are doing. There's all
Okay.
this shit. Yeah, looksmaxxing.
Oh, making yourself look like a Chad. Like
Yeah, and basically what you're doing
iron
is
chin.
you're microdosing speed.
You're microdosing speed.
Yeah.
What
to
do you
get
mean?
that effect?
Well, because it basically thins you out. But look at Clovis or whatever his name is, Clovis. Yeah, that guy.
Clavicular?
Yeah, you know him.
I've heard that name. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
he's
him.
part of that whole, when
How to get
her
a
girlfriends are
nice
calling
big,
him.
how to get a crimson chin.
Yeah, all that stuff. Like he's just came out of nowhere. He's everywhere now.
I spent $35K on my face.
And then there's something called mogging. Have you heard of this? I just
No.
learned that my friend Ryan on Conspiracy Social Club had to educate the elderly on what all this stuff is. Mogging is where you're in a picture with another person, they're way better looking than you, and they make you look bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big thing with the lookmaxxing guys when you get outlooked. And that's why they're all like doing all the crazy shit,
The
injections.
roids and all
That stuff.
the fucking
dude.
Botox, the lip filler.
100 they're all going to be wrecked in their 40s, dude. They're just all going to be wrecks. But
Yeah.
that's what it's about. Like this ASU student met with Clavius or whatever his name is, and he just mocked him, they said. Where he's like this fucking jack dude and just standing there and everyone's staring at him and not at Clavius. And that was a big moment. It's like, it's really crazy shit, dude. But that guy is, the girls that hang around with him say that he's funded by Peter Thiel. And then a lot of
Really?
Yeah. And then a lot of these guys in the alt-right movement are funded by Peter Thiel. And to push this kind of narrative to get everybody to fight with each other. And if we go back to what you're talking about, pissing off everybody about the Jews, that's what that side's doing a lot. They're really talking shit about Jewish people, and they're getting huge numbers doing it. Now, I don't know if they're all funded by him, but there's like 4 of them that they say are.
Well, the Palantir was their first big client was the CIA. The NQTEL, the investment arm of the CIA, was one of the biggest funders of Palantir in the beginning.
Oh, same thing with the guy that just bought Paramount. Like he
And
started
then-
some business.
oh,
His
yeah,
first
yeah.
contract is with the CIA.
Yeah, and there's those emails, or there's not emails. There's a recorded phone call with Epstein and Ehud Barak where he's explaining Palantir. He's like, you need to get on the board of Palantir. You really need to get on the board. You could be.
It's a Woody Allen voice.
Oh
that was the
God.
funniest thing.
I was so thrown off by that voice. I mean, I wasn't shocked by the New York accent, but just like how gay his voice sounds. Very feminine sounding voice, you know?
No, 100%. Like, it's so Jewish. It's like it's so Jewish file, dude. It's like the same thing with Woody Allen. And the weird thing about, because the Woody Allen case was very weird. There was a lot of weirdness in it, to the point where some people thought Woody Allen didn't do it and didn't make any sense. But now with all these emails coming out, I think it's really hard not to think he's part of that whole thing.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that movie from the 60s called The Magus?
No, I've heard of it. I don't know what it is, though.
So it's a movie basically that mirrors Epstein's life. And it's all about it. And there's this guy on this island in Greece who has his own private island where he's doing all kinds of freaky shit to people. And he has an identical temple to Poseidon on his island, just like Epstein's temple on his island.
It's so
And there's dozens of emails of girls emailing Epstein calling him Magus.
with his age.
Peter gave me.
Oh, you found it.
Peter gave
Look
me
at that.
this photo.
It's the temple, just not painted the same.
Yeah.
So crazy, dude. But that's what I'm talking
It looks
about.
just like that. The same exact, like even the landscape looks the same.
But goes back to something you brought up. Doesn't this kind of fit into that they worship these old gods?
Yeah. Yeah, like Poseidon.
And like to me,
well, the Poseidon thing's interesting too because Ghislaine was super interested in trying to find Atlantis.
yeah, I mean, it was the early like secret society stuff right there, like the ancient technologies and all that stuff, and then God comes and wipes everything out. It's like
Right.
and destroys it all. But it's like you get into the color schemes and all that stuff. Like they use the Abrahamic religions to walk amongst us. So we don't know what they're really into.
Who
Oh,
does?
I'm Jewish,
All these
I'm
people.
Islamic, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic. So they walk around like that. But in reality, behind closed doors, they worship old gods. And that's what's really about. That's their real religion. In front of us, they're just another Abrahamic religion follower. But in reality, behind closed doors, they're in the very dark shit. And it's like, there's a reason why the Israelites were kicked out, because they started worshiping false gods and doing sacrifice. So unless the Bible is a giant lie,
They were
that is the
kicked out
story.
because they were doing sacrifice?
Yes. They were sacrificing. And God says very specifically, there's some sins you can't come back from. Because I watched this video on all the times Moloch is mentioned in the Bible and how dark it really is, like how dark of a God he is, or a small G God he is.
Yeah.
And the Israelites started worshiping false gods and sacrificing children to Moloch. And God says there's certain things you can't come back from: hurting children and creating life in the sense of Frankenstein, right? Like not in the normal way of like birth, but you create a false life.
Yeah.
Which is what all these scientists are doing now.
Mark of the beast.
The mark of the beast. Yeah, 100%. It's all spiritual, dude. Once you get into that and you realize what you're really up against. And then when you become a conspiracy theorist, I always watch new conspiracy theorists become Paul Revere, running around that the lizard people are coming and all that stuff. But the real truth is like to really do conspiracies right, you have to realize that you can't change any of that. You have to work on yourself. And you got to work inside. I know it sounds like some fucked stuff, but that's really what it's about. And at the end of the day, dude, I've said this before, I'll say it again. You can't change the system, okay? The system, you can't march your way, vote your way into changing the system. The system, you have to beat the system. And then you have to show others how to beat the system. And then the system adapts to the new way of operating.
We always talk about spring cleaning on this podcast. And before you pretend that your kitchen is fine, why don't we talk about all of those pots and pans you've had in the drawers since college? If it's warped, sticks, and burn stuff, it's time for it to go. Springtime is all about getting rid of the stuff that actively works against you. And that is why I love the ease of my hex-clad cookware. Cooking and cleaning them is effortless. I don't have to scrub to clean. I simply wipe to clean. I always find myself admiring them all on the stove while I'm cooking. I always get more joy out of cooking when I'm cooking with HexClad because it feels like I'm cooking on future technology. Their nonstick is ceramic and it's protected by their stainless hex pattern. So I can use metal utensils when I'm cooking with these pans and not have to worry about introducing toxic chemicals to my family. They're heavy, they look incredible, and they feel like quality when you pick them up. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, oven safe up to 900 degrees, and the handle stays cool while you're cooking. And with over 1 million customers and 50,000 5-star reviews, it's not a secret why Gordon Ramsay uses HexClad at home and in his restaurants. Plus, everything comes with a lifetime warranty, so this literally is the last piece of cookware you'll ever need to buy. Don't go through another spring using the same busted old pans you should have thrown out years ago. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just head on over to hexclad.com/Danny Jones. Support our show and check them out at hexclad.com/Danny Jones. Make sure you let them know we sent you. Spring clean your kitchen the smart way with HexClad.
Great example is comedy, right? When I started comedy, it was get a clean 10 minutes, pitch it as a sitcom, get on the Tonight Show, get a sitcom.
Right.
If you're lucky, you get into movies.
Right.
And if you couldn't do any of that, you were gone.
Okay.
You were done.
Right.
And then I say this all the time, Death Squad doesn't get enough credit for changing the first person to change is Dane Cook. Dane Cook comes in.
I remember that. I used to, in high school, I listened to all of his audio
Dane
tapes.
Cook was great.
Yeah.
Dane showed everybody if you get enough followers on MySpace, you can tour and make money.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone started doing MySpace. Jordy Fox, a friend of mine, became the head of comedy at MySpace. He was a kingmaker. So everyone was rushing to try to get as many followers on MySpace as you can.
Yeah.
Then Death Squad comes, which is Joe Rogan and Brian. I'm not saying they were the first one, but they were the big one because we had Joe Rogan. We were the first group of guys doing not the first, but one of the bigger brands that was kind of creating art and content for themselves and not for the industry.
Right.
So that stuff starts to blow.
You're talking
up.
about like the podcast stuff?
Yeah, the podcast stuff. That starts.
Did Joe start his podcast right after he called out that dude on stage that was stealing jokes?
No, I think he did before.
He started before that?
I don't know the timeline. That's a great question.
That's when he got kicked out of the comedy club?
Store.
The comedy
and that's
store.
When the dark period at the comedy store happens.
Right. Okay, I see.
Which is a wonderful time at the comedy store. Sad that Joe was gone, but it became this the comedy store became this place where you'd walk in and on a Wednesday and there was 40 people in the OR, and it was great because you could go up there and bomb with dignity, you didn't have to worry about the industry being there because they hated Mitzi. So they didn't want to go to the comedy store. So you could go up there and really work on shit. And all the guys that have Netflix specials now, they were all working the OR and the comedy store during its dead period and were able to really stretch it out. It was like the purest comedy is ever going to be.
Yeah.
Because Mitzi was running it, but she really wasn't running it. The inmates were running the asylum at that time. And it was just this wonderful time where you could bomb with dignity.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, it's a famous story how I get picked up. Paul Mooney. So a week before, I'm doing this show at the Hustler Cafe, which is the Hustler store, but they had a cafe in it, and this guy, Johnny Montana, was running a show there, and this was right around Columbine, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was doing a joke about how hard it is to be a white guy, and Paul Mooney came up to me. He's like, "Oh, homie, you ain't white. Use Armenian, use it," and he drops an N-bomb on me, right? Which was one of the greatest moments of my life, being called the N-word by Paul Mooney. It was such a blessing, dude. So the next week I'm showcasing for Mitzi, and there's this famous thing where people would hijack your showcase because they wanted to get in front of Mitzi so they would get spots. Hey, Mitzi, I haven't gotten spots. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of you. So I'm doing my set And I see Paul Mooney sit right next to her. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is stealing my fucking showcase. Well, it turns out
What does that mean, stealing my showcase?
Hijacking my showcase, which was like while you were on stage showcasing for her, someone would sit next to her and take her attention. She wouldn't even watch you anymore.
Okay, I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So I thought he was doing that to me, but what he was doing was telling her that I should be a regular at the Comedy Store.
Oh,
so it's like he's the reason I'm in at the Comedy Store. This legendary comedian. He wrote all of Richard Pryor's shit. Like if you watch Richard Pryor's special, Paul Mooney's credit comes on. It's the only thing on the screen.
Really?
Yeah, he wrote a lot of Richard Pryor shit. So, anyways, he's like, you got to pick this guy up, Mitzi. So after your showcase, you would always kiss the ring. Like you go to Mitzi, thank her for the showcase.
Right.
So I go up to her, and I told this on the comedy Store doc on Showtime, but I go up to Mitzi, and go, thank you so much, Mitzi, for the showcase. She's like, are you Syrian? And like, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know what a Syrian was at that time. I'm public educated. I didn't know what the fuck a Syrian was, but I'm like, yeah, I'm Syrian. I love my Syrian grandma. I love Syrian food. I love being a Syrian. She's like, okay, I want you to do the showcase. Anyways, that's how I got picked up at the Comedy Store. But going back to the Joe Rogan stuff. So Joe Rogan, Death Squad, Brian Redband starts this podcast thing. It blows up.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Schultz comes and he's like, I'm not only going to do a podcast, but I'm going to start clipping my sets. And now that's the standard in which people blow up now. They clip their sets and they put out their thing and people come and they get a following now. People come and see them and
like someone's filming their set.
yeah. And then they clip it, put it out.
Right.
So the point of this long journey we just went on is that the game adapted. The rules adapted to after everyone beats the game,
Yeah.
the game adapts. And now there's a new rules to make it.
Right.
So you can't change the system. You have to beat the system.
Right.
And then show other people how to beat the system. And then the system adapts. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So this marching is a waste of fucking time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. On that though, it's interesting though. Like the news, like the system it seems like it's changed. It's not that anymore. Now it's like the podcasts.
Now
are like
I
the
think
way
the
to go.
next thing is live streaming. It's just
Yeah.
streamers.
But I have this theory about comedian podcasters and specifically like Joe's podcast compared to other podcasts. It seems like a lot of like the New Age podcast is like people trying to reverse engineer the success of podcasts to make money. And you can correct me if I'm wrong because you probably know this as much as anybody because you've been around all these comedians for so long, is that I always thought that Joe's podcast for him and for you guys has been just like a warm up for your comedy. Like you guys, it feels to me like you guys did the podcasts originally just to like warm up for your comedy, which you guys held in way higher regard than or care. You dedicated, you put way more effort into the comedy, and the podcast was just sort of like a pregame warm up for that, or like a way to like work out
Sell
ideas
tickets.
and stuff like that.
100%.
Okay.
So I heard somebody say a long time ago that particularly white men got into podcasting so that they could sell tickets on the road. They could connect with a fan base because, you know, when I moved to LA in like 98 or 99, I don't know the exact year, that was kind of when we went through this kind of cycles of comedy. Like when I got there, it was nerd comedy. Then after that was female comedy. Now it's diversity comedy. Now I don't know. Now I think it's again getting into like content creating comedy. That's where a lot of it. Yeah, you'll still have woke stuff on Netflix and shit like that. But it was really about like I got rejected by the industry pretty hard. I have to find a way to connect with a crowd so that I could sell tickets on the road. And that's kind of what happened with me with Tinfoil Hat. I wish I sold more tickets, but I'm very blessed anyone even comes and sees me. But, you know, Tinfoil Hat, my main podcast, started after I had a fallout with a buddy of mine who we're really good friends now, but we had a fallout and I was kind of like, what should I do it about? And I was really into the Hillary Clinton kneecapping Bernie Sanders. So I'm like, I'm just going to do a podcast on it. And then it was meant to be a show where I just interview comedians about their favorite conspiracies. And then we started getting real guests on it. And then it became something else, which was like the news to people.
Yeah.
Especially during COVID, dude. people were like, what am I watching? What's going on? So they tuned in and they liked it. So yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
It was meant to, and now that's the internet. It's like, you know, you could have a YouTube video that blows up will give you 10 times more connection than doing the Tonight Show right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think people do the Tonight Show. It's a blessing to do television, but it's more about the name and the history of it than actual anything it's going to do for you in ticket sales.
And right now is a weird time on the internet, particularly YouTube, because it feels to me like all of the guidelines and the rails have been lifted ever since Trump got in office. Like before, like during the COVID time and leading up to Trump, it was like, at least from my experience, we had shit getting taken down and demonetized left and right, getting in trouble for weird things like shadow banning.
The truth.
Now it's like all bets are off. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like
you're blessed, dude. Because there's something called tombstone algorithms. Have you heard of this?
No.
I learned about this at World War Debate when we did our first one, but there were some people there that were telling me about tombstone algorithms, and it's basically that these platforms don't forget. Right? Like the early wave of conspiracies. So YouTube used conspiracies to build up their platform. Like everyone's going to check out Loose Change and all that stuff. And everyone was rushing to that, and it blew it up. And then at some point around 2015, and I tell people, like, a real watershed moment in our country was Hillary Clinton stealing the nomination from Bernie Sanders. Bernie's, you know, because it was the first time in which the elites were like, no, we're going to get the person we want in. We don't care what you think.
Right.
We're doing what we want. And people woke up to that. And they're like, this is kind of crazy. And it really did damage to the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And we can get into all the struggles they've had funding their campaigns, which is, you know, after that, you know, the Democrats had to go to the cartels in Mexico for money to fund their campaigns. And that's why all this shit is going on with this tax fraud. Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's why Kamala Harris picks Tim Walz, because he can get her the money, which is $1 billion, to fund her campaign for president, because they learned from Hillary Clinton that no one's going to believe you're winning when you're putting 45 people in a cafeteria and Trump's playing these giant stadiums.
Right.
So what they did with Kamala Harris is they got all this money and they paid for the arena.
Yeah.
And it was like a Grateful Dead show where they were just following her around doing all these arena shows.
Right.
That's where the $1 billion went to. Her paying for these arena shows. Right? They weren't real. They did like geo-tracking. It was the same people over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So basically what happens is YouTube, Twitter changed a little bit. Something's going on with it now. Like I can't see my live streams on there. I'm trying to find the posts of my live stream. I have a Cash Daddies podcast about finances and stuff. I couldn't find it in my timeline. I couldn't retweet it. I couldn't put it in my featured
Since
stuff.
after Elon bought it?
Yeah, this is this week. I was looking for it on Monday. It wasn't anywhere in the timeline. It showed that I was live streaming. Our numbers were super low compared to what we normally get on Twitter.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it retweets so people knew where it was, which is very weird. But like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they have something called tombstone algorithms, which is basically you're put in a system where they don't forget. They remember what you did. They go, you caused all this. And they
really?
Yeah. So all these new conspiracy shows are coming on YouTube, and they're getting huge numbers talking about the same things I'm talking about. And they're getting into the 300,000s. We were getting hundreds of thousands of views on Tinfoil Hat at first, and then boom,
got smoked.
And now we're getting like on our new page, we're getting 10,000 if we're lucky. And they won't let us.
Didn't something happen to you where you lost your YouTube channel?
I've lost 2 channels.
I remember you talking about this
back
with Joe. You got something happened where you got shut down, and you talked about it on his podcast.
So the first time I lost a YouTube channel, I had a show called The Naughty Show, and because I was I'm still a dirty comic. I love dirty comedy. I'm not prude. I like dirty comedy. And we were doing sketches that were like dirty. Mm-hmm. And we were getting hundreds of thousands of views. And this was a long time ago. We were interviewing adult film stars, all this stuff. Dude, I because I did a Vivid Video comedy tour and I was just crushing. I'm like, okay, this is my crowd. They like dirty comedy. They stopped doing it. I'm like, I got to keep this crowd. So I'm going to start my own show called The Naughty Show. And this is kind of a great example of how much the industry hates me. So Comedy Central back in the day did something called Pitch Pilot, where they gave you $5,000 and you showed them the show you would like to do. So we do this big show. My girlfriends did like Michael Jackson videos, did that famous Russian concert in like 30 years ago in Russia. She did I'm in a Britney Spears video. I'm in a Michael Jackson video. She was doing all these high budget stuff and she helped me create this live show. So we do the live show. It's the first time they've sold out this theater, which is weird because it's only 100 seats, but they're like, we've never sold out these. All these people that are huge now, they were unknowns then. They were all in the crowd. We do the show. It blows up. Week later, my manager calls Comedy Central. They're like, what'd you think? They go, we love the show. We hate Sam Tripoli. Yeah. And that is the story of me in Hollywood, right?
Oh, my God.
They love my ideas. They just hate me. So they try to do my ideas without me. So I basically was excommunicated. What was the purpose I told you this? Oh, so I started doing the Naughty Show by myself. We started posting these videos and they were getting hundreds of thousands of views. And then boom, they're like gone.
Yeah.
And we were like, the stuff now that everybody sees where they're interviewing adult film stars.
Yeah.
We were doing that way back in the day. Obviously, Howard Stern started that and Opie and Anthony were doing that as well. But like we were doing that in a podcast form, taken away. So then I start, tinfoil hat, and we're posting videos. We're getting people like Alex Jones coming on before he got excommunicated, having all these, and we're getting hundreds of thousands of views. Boom, takes it down. Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz both call me, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, they just took my channel. Both of them, cheese. They called up YouTube and they gave it back to me, but they never forgot. They never forgot. And if I go everywhere.
You're still on the naughty list.
I'm still on the naughty list, dude. And then I see guys doing what I'm doing, getting tons of views, and I'm happy for them. But it's like, let daddy play. Mm-hmm. And they just won't do it because they haven't forgotten me. They're like, you fucked us earlier, dude.
I thought I remembered you saying something about some like sketchy family or something.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say the name.
You can't talk about it.
No, I don't want to say the name.
Okay. Well, what was the context
it will
of
get
it?
you in trouble.
Really?
I'm not lying to you, dude. I'm not lying to you, dude.
Let's make up a fake name for this family.
Poopy Pants family.
The Poopy Pants family. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the Poopy Pants family?
They're old French nobility.
Okay.
And there's a belief that they basically control the CFR, and the CFR is basically a trust for all of their businesses, and it's basically them running their businesses. And so I had this girl named Mel K come on. She knew all about the family, and we talked about the family.
This is not the name of the family, right?
I just said it.
Shut up,
dude. You got to beat that. I'm
edit that out.
Beat that.
Edit it out.
Okay.
Make sure you make a note, timestamp for that.
Yeah, you got to beep that. I'm not even kidding to you, dude.
I'll make sure we don't put that in there.
Yeah, just beep it. So she comes on, she talks about the Poopy Pants family, right?
Yeah.
Hand to God. We dropped the video. We dropped the episode. And within a week, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Twitter all pound me, dude. Like, Facebook says I've been blocked out of my stuff. Apple Podcasts, when you go to Apple Podcasts, you can see how many views you're getting, like how many listens.
Yeah.
It said for like a chunk, like 2 months, no listens, dude. No, it would be like graph, nothing. Graph. Just excommunicated me, dude.
Oh my God.
So then one of them puts out a video going, you want to talk about my family? You'll see what happens.
Who puts out a video?
One of them.
They really?
Yeah.
Publicly?
Puts out a video and people are sending it to me like, dude, they saw your shit. You talk about my family, you're going to find out. Mel K comes back out. We just mentioned it one time. Boom. They just mess with me again.
Oh my God.
So then Ian Carroll starts talking about it and I go, Ian, they're going to come after you, dude. Hand to God, like 2 weeks later, he's like, dude, what is up with my numbers on my TikTok? I'm getting completely effed on my stuff. That's why I never meant, you got to beep that stuff.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, we're definitely not going to put that in there.
I'm telling you, dude, that there's It's all elites, dude. But yeah, they just pounded on me,
Dude,
man.
what is it about the French, bro? People sleep on the French. The
They
French
sleep on the
got some
French.
fucking crazy intelligence.
Well, do you know the story of the Civil War?
Roughly?
Do you know about Russia's role in it?
No.
Okay, dude. So Alexander II, who's one of the most interesting guys in history,
Yeah.
kicks out the Rothschilds, right?
Yeah.
So the Civil War is about to happen. The Civil War isn't about slavery. That was a byproduct of it. It's really about the Federal Reserve. I actually at home own a greenback, which is the money that Lincoln issued that was a gold standard and wasn't part of the fractional reserve banking system.
Okay.
So the Rothschilds, okay, recognize the South. And they're basically like, if you give us a Federal Reserve, we'll let you have slaves. They actually recognize the leader of the South as the president. Okay?
Okay. What was his name? Leader of the South?
Will you look it up? Who the Rothschilds represented? I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
So look that up. So anyways, we're having this Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
The French are in Mexico.
Right.
The British
The French own
are
colonies.
in Canada. Okay? They're ready to come in on the side of the South against the North. They're ready to come in because they want to take over territories.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander II hears about this and sends warships to our coast. And he tells the British and the French that if you come in on this war, we're coming in on the side of the North. And you can actually find Civil War soldiers with Russian soldiers.
Who was Alexander II with?
He was the Tsar of Russia.
Tsar of Russia.
And he was basically killed by the Bolshevik family brutally. His family was brutally killed. Or his kids were, like the grandchildren, yeah. The craziest.
So it was Russia versus France.
It was, and England.
And British.
Yeah. The Revolutionary War was most likely a PSYOP. The Boston Tea Party was most likely a false flag event to kick off the Revolutionary War because the Bank of England wanted to pull the territories from the monarchy.
That's fucking crazy. Who was the guy? Jefferson Davis? Was he the,
Yeah.
was the president of the Confederacy?
Yeah, and they recognized him. So
The Rothschilds did.
yeah. This is something I told Rogan and his mind was blown. Do you know they had flying ships in the Civil War?
No.
Yeah. That went like 300, 400 miles an hour.
Who claimed that?
Well, if you look at it, if you look up, yeah, I got to remember the exact wording of it. But if you look up tinfoil hat, Civil War flying ships, yeah, they had flying ships way back in the day. Like they could go.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm not talking even that, dude. That makes it look like we have blimps. But it's like even more than that. You just gotta look it up. Tinfoil hat.
Yeah, this goes
Civil
back.
War.
Is this like the Collins Elite stuff?
Yeah, if you go down real quick.
Advanced 200 miles per hour, just flying ships.
Yep. Yep. Joseph P. Farrell talked about it.
Yeah.
So they had that technology a long time ago, dude. So just imagine what they have now.
Right.
And the Germans
The
created
Tic
that.
Tacs.
You know that
Nazis?
Lincoln was taking German money.
Lincoln?
Yeah, was taking German money to fund the war. The Germans were coming on the side of basically, yeah. And there's some prophecy with Germany too. And why
Dude, the occult stuff and like all the Nazis that were involved in like the Manhattan Project.
But why is Germany getting so annihilated culturally right now? Because according to prophecy, that the Germans there's going to be a war at some point between the lost tribes and the pagans. That's the prediction. The lost tribe, the pagans will be led by what is now known as Germany. So, which
Who are the lost tribes?
Right now, the lost tribes are basically the UK, Britain, Israel, and the United States.
Okay.
And it doesn't end well for us. But the pagans will be led by what is now known as Germany, which to me is why they've annihilated Germany so badly, why they destroyed them in 2 wars, and why culturally they're just fucking lost right now. So they can't organize and come together.
Right.
Yeah, and that it sounds weird, but I have a good friend of mine who's been telling me this he's been predicting shit based off the Bible for years. He predicted the EU way before the EU, predicted 9/11 before 9/11. Like he's predicted all this stuff based on the Bible.
Whoa.
Yeah. I talked about it on Rogan, but
Dude, there is some wild shit in the Bible.
it's some wild like
I recently started like actually sitting down and reading shit in the Bible.
I want to. I just don't have the attention span.
It is like, it's good because you can read it in chunks. There's like an online version of it where you can like you can skip forward to things you think are interesting, you know, and just kind of like pick it apart that way instead of doing it linearly.
Yeah.
And bro, it is fucking just like the idea that there was a dude 2,000 years ago sitting somewhere writing this stuff. That in itself is crazy.
It's
like
so
either
crazy.
this dude was on tripping his balls off when he was writing this stuff, or like you're saying people are appearing out of nowhere and saying this prophetic stuff. It's like, it's trippy shit, dude.
Yeah. I believe all that stuff. I mean,
And it seems like, dude, there's so many weird stories. Like the book of Jude, the letter to Jude or whatever. And like wild,
the beginning of the Bible is nuts. Like, you know, there's sexual sin, but they were doing weird shit back then. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like super interesting, man. It's super interesting. I find it to be, you know, for me, I'm not in organized religion. It's either Jesus or get out. That's my opinion. I think all these Abrahamic religions have been corrupted. I mean, Islam goes around a black cube. I mean, that's fucking weird, dude. That's weird. And then Epstein got part of the cloth from the black cube. Weird,
He
dude.
did?
Yeah, that was in the emails. They sent him part of it.
Oh my God.
Right? And it's just like, it's all, that's why they've all manipulated these religions. And, you know, for me, it's like there's the teachings of, I think Jesus was a cheat code sent down by God to teach us about how to thrive in this energy field that we live in. You know, and that you look at the commandments, right? And people get really weird on them because they have religious, obviously, overtones.
Yeah.
They're religious, you know, but they get weirded out by it. But if you study it, it's like basic things like don't lie, don't steal, don't bang your best friend's girl.
Right.
And it's like, if you do those things, it's like high vibrational versus low vibrational. I used to live in a low vibrational. I don't walk on water, dude. I struggle with my vices still. But if you study these things, you don't do this thing. Man, it's amazing how much better your life goes. But because they have religious overtones, no one wants to listen to them. And it is of my belief, dude, that instant gratification is a work of the devil. That quick fix,
Yeah.
it tends to be low vibrational shit. And when you live in that low vibrational shit, your life gets out of whack. It's why adult film stars have an average life of 38 years old.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think, look it up. Sorry, I didn't mean to command you, dude. I feel bad. Do
You
my
are-
bit. I'm
you
sorry
are
about
commanded.
that. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's
But
fine.
if you study it, they have a very low lifestyle, a low short lifespan. It's because it's low vibrational shit. The way we've cheapened sex, and I'm a sex addict, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I struggle with all that stuff, but you know, it's like low vibrational behavior. It's like instant gratification.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the people in the Bible days were really into material science. It seemed like they were into some other kind of like woo-woo, spiritual, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And like even like with the Epstein stuff, he was super obsessed with like this paranormal, parapsychological stuff. Like I even had this guy on the podcast the other day, this dude, Dean Radin, he was part of the Stargate program. And I was like, the day before he came on the podcast, I was doing some research and it came out, this dude's in the Epstein files. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
So I'm looking up, I'm like, wait. I'm looking up. And to his credit, he never met him in person. He did a Skype call with him. Epstein was like hitting him up because he wanted this guy to tell him stories. I asked him about it on the podcast. He goes, yeah, he goes, I knew Epstein was funding a lot of the smartest people I know in science to do stuff, and I'm always looking for funding. So of course I'm going to take a call with this guy. And 20-minute Skype call, and he's like, when I got on the call with him, he just asked me to tell him stories about spoon bending for 20 minutes. Like,
I think that stuff's all real, being psychic, and we kind of shun on it. I mean, obviously our pineal glands are being calcified. We lose a lot of our psychic abilities, but I believe that. I believe that's a big reason why my show has done well. It's been top 100 in comedy for almost 10 years. We're 9 years in. And I think it's because we're right. And I basically follow my instincts.
Yeah.
I play stuff out in my head, and I'm more right than I'm wrong.
yeah.
It's like I called the Q shit. I go, it could be a bunch of things. One of them is the elite's telling us everything they're doing because they're going to reset everything. They're going to destroy everything and usher in a new way of living. And sure as shit, COVID came and it's changed the way we interact with each other, So, I mean, I believe in psychic abilities. I believe in cryptids. I believe in all that stuff. I believe in all that kind of alternative stuff. I believe it's all real. I think, I've said this before, but I think our next gen weaponry is just hardwired mysticism. The problem with being psychic.
Hardwired mysticism.
Yes. So the problem with being psychic, the problem with being a magician is, can you replicate it?
Yeah.
Instantly all the time? And if you don't, people think, oh, you're not a magician.
If you can't replicate it, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't pass the scientific method.
There we go. But what they've done now is they've been working on this long enough, they can.
Well, why do you even need to replicate it? Even if you can't replicate it, it's still magic, right?
Well, I mean, like in terms of I think they have Doctor Strange level technology.
Yeah.
Right? Like, voice of skull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Earthquake machines, time travel, all that shit. That is all, direct energy weapons.
Steve's been looking up the adult porn star lifespan for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, so I couldn't find any actual studies, and then I found this.
Google is serving bad statistics about adult performers' life expectancy. What's the take here?
Oh, there it is, right down there. If you go down a little.
So Google says it's 37 years.
Yeah.
And what are they saying? If there's an issue with Google serving bad porn searches, it's things like this. I was fact checking a claim I heard and found a snippet, so I clicked it. So what are they saying? They're lying about that?
Yeah, they're saying that it's pulling from a study that did some numbers.
Yeah, they're saying it's fuzzy math.
They're saying
all you gotta do, dude, is go to YouTube, and there's people with too much time on their hands.
Yeah.
And they talk about all the porn stars that have passed. And they're like 70% of the deaths are murder, suicide, and drug overdose.
Oh, sure, drugs, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a low vibrational thing. We've cheapened sex.
Yeah.
It's sex magic, dude.
Right.
And this is a guy who's
Did you see
addicted.
Yeah, I mean, having sex all the time is probably really bad for your brain.
100%.
You're draining all the fucking dopamine and serotonin out constantly.
But we're living in a time where it's more accessible than ever. It's not meant to be like this. I just hate watch on Instagram these super hot chicks with giant jugs doing the worst content ever. And I'm just like, oh, that's such bad content, but I can't stop looking at it because my monkey DNA is supposed to look at that.
Right.
But I'm just like, okay, follow.
You follow them.
Just blonde chicks just jump
bro.
and I'm like, follow.
You're training your algorithm to show more.
I know, dude. It's the worst. My algorithm on Instagram is just fat asses and jujitsu. That's all it is.
Yeah, you gotta do it so where you only scroll it when you're taking a shit or something.
Yeah,
that's on the level.
But that's occult shit too. Sitting on your phone shitting. There's a god of crap. And they say you're worshiping the god of crap when you do that. I know it sounds nuts.
Yeah, but if you're on your phone when you're shitting, you're disrespecting the god of crap,
no,
right?
It's like you're feeding into him and shit.
Really?
That's what they told me. It sounds really weird.
Oh, wow.
And that's got to be the worst god. When they're handing out all their superpowers, you're the god of crap.
Yeah.
That is the worst gig ever.
No, what you were saying earlier about all the secret weapon stuff. this guy was on the podcast the other day telling me about, because we started talking about this guy Whitley Strieber, who wrote the Communion book. You know, like one of the most famous abductee people of all time. They made the movie about him, and he's also like a prolific science fiction writer, and he's been on like Art Bell way back in the day talking.
I love Art Bell.
Yeah, dude, legend.
That's some great shit. And like my style is like Art Bell. Like I don't press people.
Right.
Like we were talking about Scientology earlier.
Yeah.
And how basically L. Ron Hubbard was a Navy intelligence officer.
Right.
And he was sent in to infiltrate Jack Parsons' whole occult gay rocket ship stuff, right? And you know, that's why Scientology, Disney, I have a joke. It's like 4 people, a Scientologist, a Nazi, a Satanist, and what was the last one?
Rocket scientist?
No, a Nazi, a Scientologist, and there was 2 more.
Mormon?
No. I forget what the 4 are, but they walk into a bar, the 4 people, a pedophile, a Satanist, a Scientologist, and a Nazi walk into a bar. What do? Invent NASA. Like those are the 4 people that created NASA. And then you study that, how many of them have like tax exempt? Scientology tax exempt, Disney tax exempt. They have their own I mean, they're one of the
Disney's tax exempt?
they have a sovereign territory, dude. Disney has sovereign territory.
Is that Orlando?
Yeah, it's basically their land. Is when you have a sovereign territory, that means you follow no one's laws,
Right.
and you don't have to pay. I think that Disney may have to pay taxes, but they're a sovereign territory, just like Washington D.C., just like
It's an autonomous zone,
just like the City of London, not London, the City of London inside London.
like the Vatican.
The Vatican is one of them, and then I just found out that the Bank of International Settlements is another one, meaning it's not part of Switzerland. It's its own territory.
Really?
Yeah, which means it follows no laws. Like if King Charles wants to go into the City of London, he has to ask for permission.
What's this?
So Disney operates under the Reedy Creek Improvement District. That's what they call it.
Oh yeah, special tax district. Yeah, I mean, and they all help to create NASA. NASA is the Hebrew word nasha for to deceive. You know, and that's who created.
Is that really the Hebrew word NASA means to deceive?
No, there's another letter in the nasha, but that was it. I mean, the Nazi that created what was this, von Braun?
Yeah.
Like on his tombstone, he talks about the firmament. If you look on his tombstone, he has something from the Bible. I forget what it is, but it basically refers to the firmament. Wherever we live, it's
What does he
special.
mean by that? What
That we never went to. We're not going past this firmament. It's a thing that separates the waters from above from the waters below. It's a hard shell, and they actually threw nuclear bomb. If you believe in nuclear bombs, that's it.
Von Braun's modest grave marker refers to one of his favorite biblical passages. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you could interpret that many different ways. Right?
Like how?
The firmament it's kind of a vague.
Well, it's referring to the firmament, which is
It does say firmament, yeah.
that is this kind of hard shell.
The firmaments showeth his
Can you
handiwork.
look up where they tried to blow up the firmament?
Is it starfish or whatever?
It's super interesting.
Where they detonated nukes in space?
Yeah. It's very interesting to me too, because I've been talking a lot about this, about how
Starfish Prime, I think it was called.
the Nazis,
There it is.
Germany lost the war, not the Nazis.
Yeah, because
Fishbowl. Operation Fishbowl.
Oh, fishbowl.
Yeah. So I've been saying this for a while, that Germany lost World War II, not the Nazis. The Nazis did exactly what they were meant to do, which was destroy Germany from within. And that everyone loses their mind when I say that, but I really do believe that. And that's why they came over here and didn't change their name. They just crip walked over here.
Yeah.
They weren't brought over. They came over and took over. Took over the OSS, turned into the CIA, took over NASA. None of them changed their names. If you're in the witness protection program
Right.
and you're a wanted criminal,
Right.
you would change your name. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't keep the exact same name that you were known as being a nasty Nazi.
Right.
It's very, dude, back when 60 Minutes used to do good work, they interviewed this Boston lawyer who studied, why were there so many Nazis here?
Yeah.
And he pressed, and the CIA was like, you can read these documents, you can't write anything down. You can only read them. And he studied that. I think it was President Nixon, one other president, and a Rockefeller were in charge of bringing all the Nazis over. And none of them changed their names.
Right.
They all became the heads of the UN, heads of this, heads of that, because they fulfilled their job. They were the whole thing about destroying Germany from within.
Yeah, but we only got what did we get? Half of the Nazis, and Russia got the other half.
Yeah.
Soviet Union.
And then Hitler dies peacefully in Argentina. Where's Argentina? Right next to Antarctica. And it's crazy because they're saying Israelis are burning down these forests in Argentina, and
Yeah.
you're like, and they're saying because they're trying to hide out there because of war crimes. You're like, who else ran to Argentina to hide from war crimes?
What was the story with Operation Highjump again? Remind me.
Yeah, dude, that's a crazy story. Admiral Byrd. Again, getting into the occult. Admiral Byrd went to go see what was going down in Antarctica, and he shows up and he's met with Nazis and aliens. And
Nazis and
aliens, yes.
What
Do you
kind
know
of
that-
aliens? Were they Nordics or were they reptiles?
I don't believe in space aliens.
Oh, you
think
don't?
I think they're angels and demons.
Interesting.
My favorite part of the whole UFO
Angels
thing-
and demons from where?
angels and demons, God, like angels from God, demons casted out from heaven.
From heaven.
Yes.
Okay.
Fallen angel stuff, low level demons. That's what they are. And it's very interesting because the part of Antarctica that these Nazis and demons were in were New Schwabenland, which is the guy who basically ran the World Economic Forum forever, his father. Mm-hmm. So basically, the Admiral Byrd is met by Nazi and aliens, according to him. They annihilate most of them. And they're like, dude, we could either do this or you could just take us to the president. And there was a meeting at the White House in which they made a deal.
The aliens?
The Nazis and the aliens made a deal with the White House that...
Who was the president then?
Eisenhower, I believe.
Eisenhower, maybe. Okay.
And they were basically like, if we'll give you, we can annihilate you, or we'll give you technology. And basically, they made a deal where the UFOs or whatever could basically kidnap Americans and do scientific tests on them. But they made a deal that it could only happen in certain places. And then that's.
But why would they want it? Why would they have to, if they're aliens and if they're angels and demons, they're way more powerful than people that are in the White House. So why would they waste their time inking a deal?
Because
in case, the only reason you do a deal is in case one of the person doesn't follow through on their side, then you go to court.
You could do it the hard way or the easy way. And if we do it the easy way, then we'll give you technology and you give us what we want, which is test subjects.
Okay.
So the whole thing is, have you ever heard of the missing 411?
The
comments are going to be like, this guy's
is Bigfoot,
insane.
Right? Bigfoot
I can't
shit.
wait. What?
This is the Bigfoot stuff, right? The missing 411 guy?
The missing 411 is that people go missing in our national force. And they believe that is a connection to Operation Highjump, in which Eisenhower made a deal that you can take people, but they have to be out of this certain area. You can't be just jacking everybody everywhere. So they take, and now it's very...
So only people that are in the woods.
Yes, the national forest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting because a lot of the characteristics of the people they take, they're like German descent, super smart. Like, it's very interesting, dude, which again kind of connects to Operation Highjump.
Is it connected to like the modern, or not modern, the alien abductions that were happening in like the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, I think so.
With like Strieber and
all that
Travis
stuff.
Walton and all those guys?
Yeah, all that stuff. That's what I believe. And there could be angels, demons, and aliens. Part of me thinks that we're such a unique place that everyone just comes here and just bang.
Like Vegas of the universe.
It's almost like Tijuana of the universe, where they come and they just get weird with us and then go back to their wives.
Yeah. I think it's probably time travelers.
That's definitely possible.
I think that's
too.
a huge part
Trump
of it.
talked about it. They have the ability to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because
looking glass and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I heard that on the Y-Files, the Looking Glass thing. The time traveler thing to me makes a lot of sense when you're talking about like the Greys, because they're like bipedal hominids, right? If you're going to evolve on another planet with like different atmosphere, different gravity, and different, you know, if it was a water world, you wouldn't evolve to be like a upright walking bipedal hominid like we evolved to be on Earth. You think they would look a lot different?
Yeah, they're Japanese Greys.
Japanese Greys.
Yeah, that's what they look like to me. Japanese Greys. But they're also, they think those are just like, the ones we see are kind of just like clones.
Yeah,
Not the real ones.
Right.
That they're just kind of like
droids or something.
Droids that they send out. Mm-hmm. But they, for some reason, like to get in butts, and it's very weird because they like redneck ass, right? I mean, that's all they're taking.
Have you heard of Michael
Do
Masters?
black people get abducted?
Yeah, Betty and Barney Hill.
Damn, one?
Yeah.
That's it?
But
just rednecks in cornfields. That's all they're grabbing.
Yeah. Have you heard of Michael Masters before?
I have heard that name, yes.
He's the anthropologist who studies the alien abduction stuff. So he got into anthropology because he was so interested, because he saw the cover of Whitley Strieber's book when he was a kid, and he got fascinated with aliens. And he had like a UFO experience also when he was a kid, and that got him into anthropology. And he has this elaborate theory, which he wrote a book about, called the extraterrestrial model, where he studied, I think, all of the documented abduction accounts, like from John Mack and all those other people, and like read all the firsthand accounts of like the hypnotic regressions, what they explained exactly. And he tried to corroborate all the people, everything they saw, everything that was communicated or whatever. And I think it was like 90% of them, when they asked the beings who they were and where they were from, they said they were them from the future.
Oh, really?
And 10% of them said like Zeta Reticuli or pointed to a star on a map or whatever. But he said the majority of them said they were them from the future. And his theory is that if there was some sort of catastrophic nuclear war on Earth in the future that wiped out a vast majority of humanity, there would have to be like inbreeding and stuff like that. So they went back in time to take from the gene pool of the past to repopulate and homogenize their species in the future. And that's why you have in all these abduction cases, sperm and eggs being taken from the abductees.
I'm in, dude. Why not? Why not?
I can get down with that theory.
I'm totally down with that theory. I mean, that's the famous Art Bell call. The guy says he's from the future.
Oh, yeah.
And he's here to
tell me more.
Because dude, you're great with names. You remind me of Rogan and Tim Dillon. I can't remember anyone's name. You remember everybody's name. It's like I have a weird computer for a brain, but you know, it's like he said he's here because everything went digital and they lost all the information. And then they found, the guy said he was this, and they found the kid in Florida, I think it was, that would actually be the kid. So we'll see. I don't believe in nuclear weapons.
You don't believe in them? You think they're fake?
Well, I believe that it was a psyop on what they said happened in World War II. They obviously have big bombs go boom, but I don't believe in what we were sold on. Those, you know, you've seen Rogan, the guy on Rogan talked about it. Those are and all those videos of them blowing stuff up. That was all models. You watch it now, you're like,
it does look like models. Those houses.
Models. It's totally models. They dropped a nuke on Hiroshima. Okay. Then everyone moved right back in. It's supposed to be radioactive forever. You know, Chernobyl.
Isn't it crazy how Japan is like one of the most thriving societies right now? Like you could I had a friend who was just there.
Technology-wise, but nobody's boning. Nobody wants to bang Asian chicks. I don't fucking get it, dude.
Really?
Yeah, they have a really bad squid porn
But like
problem.
they have no crime. It's clean. You could eat a sandwich off the fucking floor of the subway there.
Yeah.
And like you could send your 4-year-old.
You're not supposed to eat in public.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah.
Have you been to Japan?
I've been there a couple times.
I've never been. I want to go.
It's beautiful. And it's advanced.
I think it's crazy how all the stories I hear about it are so great, and that's the country we dropped the bombs on, and like we are going in the opposite direction.
I mean, and that whole thing about Pearl Harbor was a giant psyop too. Like
Right.
we forced them to attack us because
Right. As a pretext?
Americans didn't want to get into World War II.
Right.
So they had to create something.
A pretext to invade.
Yes.
Like
and so
9/11.
they cut off all the oil to Japan. They had to do something. And so that got us into World War II. And then the whole thing about Americans winning the war is total bullshit. We actually went around. It was like, there's a lot going on with that. Russia actually won the war. They lost 20 million people in it.
They lost the most people. Yeah.
Yeah, they were fighting the hardest fight. So history's a lie, dude. It's all a lie to manufacture superheroes.
To manufacture superheroes.
Yeah, they have us believe that our leaders are these great guys. It's like some of my friends, I'm not going to say their name, they believe in good guy, bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. We're good guys, they're bad guys. Even though the people are on the same level over there, they're evil, we're good. And that's why people have this cognitive dissonance with these Epstein leaks, because they can't come to grips with their guys are bad guys too. Mm-hmm. Like I'm watching NBA All-Star game and they're all dapping up Obama, and you're like, that guy is illegally assassinated a foreign leader, causing a destabilization of failed state in Libya and open air slave trades. Mm-hmm. Like imagine the NBA dapping up somebody who's caused slave trades. I mean, their whole thing is BLM and slavery and all that stuff, and recognizing all that, and then they're dapping up the guy who caused it, the guy who created ISIS.
Yeah. Well, he's playing them. Like they don't have the time to fucking listen to a tinfoil hat podcast.
Yeah, they
you know
should.
What I mean? They don't. They're too busy. They're too busy fucking working out and playing basketball all the time, trying to fucking do their thing. And they're easy to take advantage of, ideologically, of the people that run the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
It's just like the thing about people complaining about the halftime show. To me, like the boomers are like, "Oh, fuck the Epstein files. You see this stupid fucking halftime show?" It's like you didn't know the NFL was the most woke organization on the face of the fucking earth.
Dude, they love male cheerleaders, and I don't even give a shit. I don't even give a shit. I don't care. But this is how you just got to get to the place where you know what they're doing to you.
Yeah.
That they're trying to cause anxiety.
Yeah.
They're trying to cause division. Mm-hmm. That's why they do all this. All the owners of these leagues are all the masters of mankind. Mm-hmm. They're all in tech. They're all in oil. They're all in real estate. They're all in banking. They're all in weaponry.
Yeah.
So it's like they want division. They want you to fight over that. Mm-hmm. They want you to get mad at Bad Bunny. Again, I would have loved to enjoy it. I just didn't know what he was saying. And it just seemed weird to me that they didn't put subtitles up. But then you find out why they didn't, because they would get in trouble with the FCC. It's all done on purpose.
Yeah. I'm surprised the leader of the NFL wasn't in the Epstein files. I was really expecting.
I mean,
I
a bunch of owners are.
The New York Giants owner, I think, right?
I forget the name of the woman. She had a video on Instagram talking about that the real, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but the real reason they don't want to release the Epstein files is because all these heads of these giant corporations are a part of it. So when everyone's pounding on Pam Bondi for saying the Dow's at 50,000, I think that's a message. I think she's saying, guys, the Wall Street's crushing it right now. All these guys are a part of it. You out these guys, we're going to have a fucking depression. I think that's what she's saying. Like, dude, these guys are all part of this.
If the system unravels, that's the thing, right? If the system of our nation, if this is exposed, it can unravel everything, and that's not going to be good.
That's not going to be
for
good.
The working class, for anybody. The stock market.
I say let it burn.
There could be a fucking crazy run on the stock market, which could fucking tank people's wealth and really fucking suck the life out of everything. Yeah,
that's why I think she's saying.
I love Tim Dillon's rant.
Oh, he's the best.
Thank Baal. You need to thank Baal for the Dow being at 50,000.
He's one of one, dude.
Dude,
nobody's better than that guy. He's one of one.
Yeah, man.
He is a nobody.
He's a force.
Nobody
of nature,
rants like that guy. Like I call him the David Tell of podcasting, because David Tell's the greatest writer of comedy I've ever seen in my life. Like there's nobody even close to him. Mm-hmm. But Tim Dillon does that in real time.
Yeah.
Just riffing. Do you know how impossible that is? Like that guy he's a real blessing, dude.
I mean, I get probably
60% of my news from Tim Dillon's
Yeah,
podcast.
100%. Because he gets you laughing and then he slips you the truth.
And he's right, exactly, because he's on top of this shit, bro. And he makes it so goddamn funny.
And it's a dangerous line he walks because he is so big and he's pulling no punches. And that makes them very Barry Weiss tried to get his agency to drop him.
Really?
Yeah. He talked about it.
Oh, this was a long time ago?
Agent.
Or is this recent?
He's like, you got to drop this dude. And of course they didn't because he's a cash
register. And then he
register.
comes out and he dresses up as Barry Weiss on the intro of his podcast.
And then he interviews the world.
Tell me more about the Mossad. I don't know anything about the Mossad.
So I was listening to this one show. I'm not going to say their name because I have a friend on it and I actually like them. But they were talking about how CNN and these cable news will probably be gone in 7 years. That they're hemorrhaging viewers so badly that it's not going to be worth running it. And, and then they tried to pivot to why CBS is laying off all these people. And they said it was a business move. And I found that not true. CBS has lost 23% of their viewers in key demographics. The reason they're laying off people is because the money's not coming in like it used to be.
Right.
Because it's so biased one way. You took someone who got no views on YouTube and put her in charge of a traditional institution, and she's so biased one way that she's destroyed. Like, there was a time maybe we were naive.
The Streisand effect.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%. The more you tell people not to look at it, the more they look at it, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad for them because, I was listening to sports radio because I'm old, and they had IDF commercials. It's like midnight on the West Coast, and like I'm listening to sports talk. It was Fox Sports Radio, and I'm listening to it, and they're like, the IDF is begging for money. They're like, support these troops. They're trying to save Israel. Like, I tweeted them. I go, you keep running these IDF things, I'm not going to listen to you. I have Sirius Radio. I'll just turn and listen to old sports talk. I'm not going to listen to you letting people who have committed war crimes beg for money.
Did you see the influencers that they had in Gaza? The TikTok influencers talking about Gaza. They say they're holding back food and supplies from the Gazans. Those lying motherfuckers. Look at all this food we got here. He's like, I wouldn't give those Gazans a goddamn cracker if I had to.
Yeah, it's like crazy to me. And then you got Lauren Chen, who gets completely kneecapped off of some Russian Tonight stuff. And they're like trying to act like this is what about all these people taking Israeli money? Like, why is that? Why is Russia, and she's been absolved. I'm a big fan of Lauren Chen. Why is taking Russia money worse than taking Israeli money?
Right.
Why? What is that? Why is Qatar money or Saudi Arabia money? All these guys going off to Saudi Arabia. And like, they're my friends. Get the bag. I don't give a shit. Unless you think Saudi Arabia was behind 9/11. Then it's a weird thing. It's a cuck thing. If you think that, I have no problems with you getting the bag. Get the bag. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Get the bag, man. I wouldn't go there because my comedy wouldn't work there. I'm too dirty.
Right.
But if I went to somewhere that get the bag, get the bag. I don't give a shit unless you think they're behind the attacks. Then there's some like with Pete Davidson. I'm like, well, what are you doing, dude? That's a weird thing to do. Your dad lost, and you're going over there.
Oh my god.
But I don't.
dude.
I think Saudi Arabia, if any, is minimal. That was just a BS lie.
That's the thing about the whole thing about all of the attention being on Israel too, is I want to know what China's up to now, because no one's talking about China right now.
My whole thing is like, don't trust any of them.
No, fuck no.
The notion that we can't talk about Israel when Israel is complicit in a lot of stuff is
Right.
weird. But if they ignore China or Russia, I don't trust any of these guys.
No.
As far as, there's not a politician outside of Ron Paul that I trust.
Right.
Even though I like everything Thomas Massey's saying, he was a Freemason as a teenager.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was in a Freemason group as a kid.
What?
Yeah, I don't trust anything these guys say.
Oh my god.
So it's like, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than sadly disappointed.
That's a good take.
You know, prove me wrong. And if I do, dude, I love being wrong. I love, I get something wrong, I tell everybody. I learned that in recovery. You know?
Yeah.
Make your amends, dude. If I'm wrong, no one bats 1,000, dude. I'm batting 950.
Right.
But nobody bats 1,000.
Right.
You know, so I get things wrong. It's usually little details, but I'll own it. But I don't trust any of these people as far as I can kick them, dude.
Is it true Alex Jones predicted 9/11?
No. Bill Cooper did.
I thought Alex Jones did.
Bill Cooper. Now I love Alex Jones. I'm a big Alex Jones fan. He's a friend of mine. I love him. But it was Bill Cooper, and then they killed him.
Remind me who Bill Cooper
Bill
is?
Cooper is like the OG conspiracy theorist.
Oh.
Like he's the guy who was like Navy intelligence, and he was talking about aliens, and then he came to a realization that they were feeding him it. They wanted him to see it. They wanted him to go talk about it to everybody that there's aliens. Because what aliens do...
kind of like, okay, yeah. I know what you're saying.
Because what aliens do, dude, is it makes us powerless, right? If there's aliens coming, they're so incredibly powerful, we got to submit, and then we got to become a one world order.
Yeah.
You know, if you study Bill Cooper is a G, dude.
Pull up a history on him. And he worked for Navy intelligence?
He did.
Conspiracy theorist Bill Cooper made predictions regarding the potential attack on the United States and the individual who would be blamed for it. On June 18th or 28th, 2001, he stated that a major attack would occur and that bin Laden would be implicated. Whoa. A couple months
and
before.
then they killed him.
Specific.
How did he die?
They ambushed him in his driveway.
Who?
The FBI. He came up and talked to him. They shot him from the back.
Whoa.
It's a dangerous game because then there wasn't the flood of conspiracies everywhere. You know, conspiracy theorists are all like they have a fantasy that they're so dangerous that the government's going to come after. And some of them they do, you know, but it's really, what information are you getting out?
What you said in the beginning was spot on. You said you don't think things are getting worse. You just think it's becoming more exposed because of the internet. Yeah, because like imagine if we would have had TikTok and Instagram in 62 or 63, right? When all that shit was going on. Like that, I mean, the president getting fucking his head smoked in broad daylight on TV.
100%.
Which almost happened, but
if that's real.
If it's real.
Bro, you haven't seen the video of some White House intern or something moving the press to the side to get a better shot as the flag comes in this fucking is lowered down so they
the photographer?
Yeah. He's moving people. Dude, some guy got shot. You're moving people over. You're not like running for your life or dropping. Come on, dude. Like, here's what I've learned about these high impact events, right? We're talking JFK, 9/11. There's so many layers to it so that guy, whatever event they want to happen, happens. They don't get out.
Right.
So there's layers upon layers. And that's why everyone in the 9/11, JFK conspiracy community, they're all fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Because they think they have the one. And I'm like, it's all of it.
Right.
It's all of it.
It's a little bit of all of it.
You know, I mean, if you look at 9/11, dancing Israelis, explosions in the building,
in the basement, yeah.
Were those actually planes or were they
holograms,
missiles? I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, dude, but direct energy weapons. Like, how does this building just dustify? Just dustify.
That is crazy. And there's also the Operation Northwoods where the exposed CIA documents where they wanted to fly jetliners and blow them up over Cuba as a pretext.
I mean, dude, if you study Operation...
They had the roadmap to 9/11 before 9/11.
Study Operation Northwoods and tell me that's not point for point the Challenger explosion. Every single point of that is exactly what the Challenger explosion was. Okay? So...
Wait, how is the Challenger explosion?
Okay, so you cited. Okay, so what is Operation Northwood? All right, one of them is to pull Cuba into the war. They're going to create a fake musical concert, and they're going to have these college students go play there. We're going to parade them around in the media, make it a big event. Everyone watches them go, get on the plane. The plane goes. They're going to lower the plane. and they're going to put another plane up and blow up the plane and blame it on Cuba. Okay. Study the Challenger explosion. Oh, we got a teacher on this flight. It's the first time a teacher's going to space. Everyone's doing the media tour. Everyone's doing the media tour. Then the big day comes, all their families there. They're watching it. Everyone's cheering. Plane goes up, explodes. You're like, Sam, well, how did the astronauts get out? It's called the padded room. There's literally water. It's not water slide, but I'm struggling for the word. A tunnel or tube that if it looks like it's going to go bad on the challenge, if something's going to blow up, you go down this tube, you get to this
like a
room,
last
they
minute
shut it.
evacuation thing.
Yes. Yes. And then you look at it was in Florida. A guy basically proved that a bunch of them are still alive.
What?
Yeah. You've never looked into the Challenger explosion? I love when I do this. Look up the Challenger astronauts still alive.
This is why I got you here, bro. You're my tour guide today.
Yeah. I had a shirt I wanted to give you. I got to drop it off. Maybe if there's a way I can give it to you. It says, I get my news from Sam Tripoli.
Oh, I love it, dude. Yeah, just send me one or tell me where to get it.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I could drop it off somewhere. But
so there's a guy, an investigator in Florida who's looking at this?
He was the guy that got fluoride out of he was on my show. I'm bad with names, but basically, yeah. So if you get into
he talks about fluoride too. Okay.
Yeah. So every one of them is alive except for the guy in the top middle. And this is before the internet. The black guy and the Asian guy both have twins that were never recorded before that. They both have their twins are still alive. The chick in the top corner with the curly hair, she teaches at either Syracuse or Harvard, has the same mannerisms. If you look at go to images actually, and there's actually go to that black and white one down one, nope, over that one, bang, right. These are them. These are the pictures of them alive right now. This is what they look at. Some of them didn't even change their names, dude.
Is it not loading on Facebook, Steve?
No, I've seen this article though. I saw it this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny enough. I was looking at this dude's face and I was like, they look exactly the same.
Exactly the same,
but I can't
dude.
find. Oh,
they didn't even.
Has this guy
Click
ever?
that one right over there. No, over into the other list.
So why though?
Go over
why?
more.
Why blow up the fucking rocket?
Right. Go to the right, the other way. Yeah, down. Click that one. See if you can get that. There it is. You know,
it's a little bit better.
So she is a teacher. The guy in the middle, Scobie or whatever his name is,
dude.
He had a business in which their logo was a cow flying in the sky, and the exhaust or whatever follows the exact way that the Challenger went. This guy right there, they're the exact people. Now you can go like the Asian guy has a weird kind of different hair. But everyone looks at the Asian guy and the black guy both.
The black guy looks very similar.
They're cousins, you know. So
right. So, but why? What's the point?
To traumatize the population and increase the funding for NASA, which funds black ops. They want to raise nationalism. They want to traumatize the audience. They want to do all that. That's what that's about. False flag, high impact events. I 100% believe this.
So on the hierarchy of...
They didn't change their names. You know why? Because the internet wasn't around then.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would know their name. No one would know. A month goes by, everyone's moved on. Nobody knows the name of the... Look at the chick up there, dude. She has the exact same fucking name. The guy in the middle has the exact same fucking name.
Interesting. Has this guy ever tried to go talk to these people?
Someone did, and he's like, no, it's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not me.
Really? Right. Why would they admit it?
Right. See that cloud right there? That guy, the guy in the middle I told you about, has a logo. I think it's cows in the sky or something. Mm-hmm. The logo is a cow making that smoke thing right there on the left.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's out there. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
But the Operation Northwoods, did you see the part about it with the CIA?
Here is a clearer picture.
Did you see the Jesus hologram they wanted to do in Cuba?
The Jesus hologram?
Yeah, they had a hologram. The CIA wanted to project a hologram of Jesus coming down and talking to them about overthrowing their government.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. So I've had people on my show, women, who've said they've talked to the Intergalactic Federation, which is another
That's
like
awesome.
group. Yeah. They're always hot too. And you're like, oh, you're so hot.
More believable.
I'm just going to listen to you. You're so fucking hot. And pretty privilege is for real. She said that the real PSYOP, and this, I'm not co-signing on this, but it sounds interesting because they do this a lot, dude. The real PSYOP will be that the elites fake that they faked it and that there's going to be real contact coming. Real connection.
They fake that they faked it, so
Yeah,
we don't believe it when it's real.
We believe that the elites are faking it and that
Yes.
there might be actual real contact coming from with angels, demons, or aliens, whatever you believe it is.
Yeah.
And they do that. Like part of me
Of course they do.
thinks that the alien stuff, I mean the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, is the elites trying to tell you they're putting it out when I think it could be God.
It's all controlled.
No, but God is pushing it out.
God is pushing it out.
That there's if there's bad, there's good. We live in a dualistic universe. So if there's bad, evil, there's good. Maybe good is pushing this shit out to get people to wake up to the world that they live in. It's a weird theory, but part of me thinks that there's a bunch of things going on. God could be pushing this out. Could also be the elites wanting to burn the old guard and get rid of all these old people that are no longer producing money for them, but they still have to pay them out.
It could be like the Michael Aquino thing, telling the Vietnamese that there's witches running around in the forest. It's telling all the people that already believe that Epstein's doing all this crazy stuff, worshiping Baal, doing Bohemian Grove, all that stuff Alex Jones talks about. Tell everyone that all that's real, and here's all the evidence of it, and here's all the child sacrifice and adrenochrome and all that. Let's put it all out there and show them what they already believe and drive people even more crazy so they have no
Raising your
grip,
anxiety.
zero grip on reality.
But my question to you is, do you think that this isn't happening? Do you think that we don't have this predator class that uses hurting children as a jump in to the highest levels of entertainment?
I don't think that it's not happening. I think it's definitely happening.
Yeah, me too. So that's the big thing. They're putting this out to raise your anxiety, but I'm like, it's happening. Like, that's it. Like,
This brings me back to what I was talking to you about Whitley Strieber earlier. So Whitley Strieber went on Art Bell way early days, I think in the 80s, and he was talking about how he was a part of some child experimentation thing in Texas because his dad worked on a military base in Texas, and he said he went through some gruesome experiments where they were subjecting him and other young children to like videos of people being tortured and killed and dismembered, gruesome stuff, and they were like being told that they were responsible for it to induce incredible psychological trauma in some sort of an attempt to partition the human mind and create like Manchurian candidates or whatever it is.
yes.
And one of the things I just learned about like a couple days ago was this story of the Finders. Finders group.
Yeah, 100%.
So you known about that.
Yeah, 100%.
So that was in Florida.
That was in Florida. And again, the FBI is cleaning it up.
Right. So the cops, what was the story? The cops saw these kids playing.
Basically, people saw these dirty kids with these two guys, and they thought something was suspicious.
Yeah.
And so they called the cops. Cops came up, and they started doing interviews on them, and they basically realized that these kids were getting trafficked. And the craziest thing is they found the mothers. The mothers were like, oh, no, that's not happening. 100% happening. And these people had like some kind of internet system where they could talk to people and like China was a big part of this. The Chinese getting the kids like that. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the FBI came in and just quashed the whole thing, said nothing was there. We discovered it. Nothing's there. And now they're doing it again with this Epstein stuff. But they 100%, the Finders, the Franklin scandal, same thing. Franklin scandal leads all the way to George Bush Sr. in the White House.
Right.
So the people are saying this is a Democrat thing and the Republicans can't come to grips with it.
Right.
It's the Republicans have been doing it as well.
Yeah.
It's like Republican, Democrat is all pro wrestling. It's all predator class.
Yeah. But like you said, it's what you said. It's like the 3D chess of the double reverse psychology or whatever. Show them that you can fake stuff. Make them think that you're actually faking it when in reality the stuff could be real. So that
100%.
way people completely lose their grip on reality.
They want us to think that they are omnipresent and control of everything, dude.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Panopticon, what is there's a village that this guy faked a whole Russian village for a European princess that he wanted to marry. Potomkin village. Panopticon is a prison in which the prisoners always think that the guards are watching. They position them high enough that they can't see them.
Oh, yes, in the center.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they can't see him. And then
pull up a panoptic, type in like prison after it and show images.
But that is interesting too, because it's a famous story where he created a fake whole Russian village to impress this princess. And I think that's all of this shit. I think that's a big part of AI. People think I'm crazy, but there's a part of me that thinks AI is shadow in the cave. It's very much to me like the nuclear arms race.
Yeah.
Where they tried to make it seem like, oh, dude, we could be destroyed. Yeah, that's basically it. Where they don't know if you're watching. They can't tell if you're watching, right?
Yep.
They think you're watching at all times.
At all times.
That's what that's what we think about AI. And then just this fake facade that isn't really as powerful as. But
I seem to. That seems to be. I've heard a lot of smart people tell me that they think like the LLMs are not anywhere near like a real artificial intelligence.
I mean, dude, did you see the thing the other day where Grok? There was Riley Reid. You know who Riley Reid is? Yeah. You know, she's a talented woman. And there was a picture of her doing her rap. I don't know if you've seen the rap that she does where she drops N-bombs left and right.
Oh, no.
I guess if you hook up with enough black guys, you get the M-word card.
You get the free pass.
Yeah, she's singing it. And then someone goes, Grok, who is this? And what is her Instagram? And Grok said, this is Erica Kirk. And yeah, it's so hilarious, dude.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
You really want to test AI? Ask them something you know the answer to, and then see if they get it right.
I get shit wrong all the time.
I'm not gonna say the AI, but I asked this one AI about how many of the people that ICE has grabbed are innocent and not illegals. It said 75%. And even my buddy who won on the point.
It said 75% are innocent, not illegal?
Yeah. Innocent and not illegal, which is a total bullshit number.
Right.
But they're basically quicker at doing Google than Google at this point. Right. That's all. You see them searching.
It's distilling all the Google stuff that's already curated into one trough for you to get your slop all in one spot.
And we have to order it around. It's not sentient.
Right, exactly.
They keep telling us it's getting sentient, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm not saying there aren't going to be bad weapons out there or it's going to look really crazy, but the way they're selling it on us is like it very much is Cold War nuclear fucking weapons race feel to it. It's like, we got to stay in front of China, dude. If we don't stay in front of China, dude, they're going to lap us. And you're like, and then you find out the U.S. government is sending, China fucking conductors and shit like that. You're like, and that reminds me of when I was young, my dad always raised me to be a conspiracy theorist. He said, don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. And now it's like, don't believe anything you hear or anything you see.
Right.
But I remember being very young, watching the news, and they were like, the U.S. is sending aid to Russia. And I felt that was very weird. I go, why are we sending aid to the people we're in an arms race with? And then I realized that it's all bullshit. They had to prop Russia up because Russia didn't have enough money to stay with us. But they needed Russia as the bad guy to scare us into doing it. And I think that's North Korea, too. I think North Korea is just a giant saber rattle, rattle, whatever it is, to scare us. Oh, Kim Jong-un has nuclear weapons. You're like, that's super interesting that we see videos. They can't even get a rocket to ever go. It just blows up. But somehow these people were able to get nuclear bombs when Iran can't. It's total bullshit.
Well,
the story is they got their nukes from Russia, right?
Or China.
Or China.
Why don't those guys ever give Iran that? Why don't they just ship them some stuff? Why hasn't that happened?
I'm not smart enough to know the answer.
I'm not
to that.
smart enough either, but it just sounds like a giant fucking game of chicken and shadow in the cave.
Yeah. I think you're right about
That's
that.
what it sounds like to me. They just got to get us scared all the time so that they can keep up and up and up. It's crazy to me.
Dude, the Charlie Kirk thing was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me this year on all of the stuff that's just like, it seems just like trauma programming overboard with on the internet.
That's what Twitter is.
Just breaking people, right?
Trauma deliverance system.
Yes. And the Charlie Kirk thing was the one thing for me that's like, holy fuck, dude. Like the fact that was minutes after it happened being fucking streamed all over the internet. Like,
or how about the fact that they had 3 suspects within minutes,
and the guy jumped up, he's like, "Oh, get me," or whatever.
and then they hit him with CP charges.
Yes,
Now he's in jail and he can't talk to anybody because he was like talking crazy when they arrested him.
Yep.
And he's in the 9/11 stuff. I think Columbine shooting documentary. He's all over the place. But that's what I said earlier about how like these high impact events, there's multiple layers to make sure it happens, and each layer doesn't know about the other layer. So you have a exploding thing, which reminds me a lot of the pager explosions.
Oh yeah.
You know, when I had a lot of friends that I loved who were like, dude, that is like so crazy smart. I'm like, watch yourself.
The pager operation?
Yeah, when they blew up all the pagers, where they blew up the terrorists who are in their own homes on their own land.
Yeah.
They blew up the terrorists.
Yep.
And, Netanyahu sending Trump pagers. You're like, that sounds like a sign, a message. But I told him, man, you got to watch yourself, dude. Because you think it's cool when they're using against the bad guys. What stops them from using against you? And against you further on if you get out of line. And then sure as shit, there's this talk about the pager took them out. The
microphone?
The microphone took them out. But then they had... But instantly, dude.
And there's a drone too that was flying.
But they instantly muddy the waters with the shooter could be here, the shooter could be here, the shooter could be here, the shooter could go into down a tunnel. Charlie Kirk,
Egyptian planes.
Where's the blood? All this stuff.
And now Candace Owens is saying there was a time traveler or someone who jumped through a portal and then killed him or something.
I mean, anything's possible.
Anything's possible, bro.
Everything she's saying is a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. And she has such a huge audience that people are freaking out. Is there time travel involved? I don't know. Probably not. But there's layers to this. There's and then, dude, within a week we had 8 different shooters everywhere. They want you to look at this guy. They want to look at this guy.
Yeah.
They want you to look at the guy in the corner.
Yeah.
They want to look at the guy over there. They want to look at the weird guys running through the thing. That's all PSYOP, dude. And how about the fact that this guy seen in Dairy Queen, behind him is a poster for Superman, the Man of Steel. Literally the next day they're like, oh, his bones were like made of steel, dude. His bones were made of steel, dude. It stopped the bullet. You're like, what? It's all psychological operations.
God, I don't know if it's a psychological operation or if it's just people being hyper rational and just connecting so many dots that have no purpose being connected. There's no reason to connect some of these dots.
That happens too, dude.
Because both things are true, right? There's definitely both things happening. There's definitely some sort of psychological influence going on with intelligence, and there's definitely a lot of dots that have no fucking business being connected that are being connected.
That does happen, right? That does happen. But it's also, how do you look at the Trump assassination. Within minutes, they have 3 different suspects. You had that one guy in his car going, you got the wrong guy. Then you have a guy who has hoops in his ears, and he looks exactly like the guy they killed. Then it's the guy they're blaming on doesn't look like the guy they killed. But they had 3 suspects within like minutes. And you're like, that's the muddy up the water. So now we don't know who we're looking at. We don't know what to tell. And it's just... I've just learned, dude, if you want to take somebody out, he gets taken out. Trump getting out of there alive because he turned his head is like crazy to me.
That is fucking crazy. Unless it was like...
And he has a perfect ear after.
Yeah.
Where's the big chunk?
There was like a weird moment, I think, after that assassination attempt occurred where there was just like so much optimism about Trump. where it was like, maybe that changed him, you know? Maybe he's going to drop the theater and he's going to actually, maybe this like did something to his soul, right? Where he had some sort of a moment that's going to make him be like, it almost kind of like gave him this sort of like messianic allure. You know what I mean? When you saw him walking out during that convention that he did with where Hulk Hogan was and all that, and Trump came out for the first time and talked with the ear thing, it was like,
and then people wearing
like,
ear
oh my
things.
God, like he had he wasn't talking shit about anyone. He wasn't being like his typical New York self, you know, calling people funny names. He was like, it was almost like, oh my God, we have to fucking vote this guy into office. Like this guy's the next
dude.
Jesus Christ.
And I also think that they set up the person who they want to win by running the worst candidate against them.
Yeah.
Great example is Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama's first term, who did he run against? John McCain.
Right.
America
Right.
hates old white neocons. Hates them.
Yeah.
After Dick Cheney and George Bush, we're fucking over this shit. Who do you bring out? Charismatic black guy. Who's he running against? The fucking oldest neocon you could find.
Right.
Runs everybody to him. Same thing with Trump in this one. America's over woke. We're tired of woke.
Yeah.
Who do you run against him? One of the most woke people ever.
Right.
She wants to give sex changes to illegals in prison. I mean, like, it doesn't get crazier than that.
No.
So it's like, it's almost running everybody to these people because they all work together.
Right.
It's a game. And, you know, I think the question is, if elections are all rigged and they're all fake, why they spend so much money and work so hard on trying to control them? If they're literally fake and it doesn't matter, why are they pouring millions, if not billions, into manipulating the voters to vote a certain way?
Money laundering.
Could be money laundering for sure, but it seems like it's a little bit more, it goes back to, you know, the Lost Boys and how you have to invite the head of vampire in.
You have to invite the vampire
occult
into
is
your
they
house.
have to get our approval before they could do it. So they kind of have to get us to agree to let the person in. I don't know why they made that rule, but it's a real powerful rule that they have to follow.
Yeah.
You know, revelation of the method where they tell us what they're doing. And the whole key, like Oli Demigard talks about, you'll watch a high impact event and there'll be signs of what the next event is going to be. Right. There was like a shooting before the Vegas shooting. And then one of the girls had Vegas on her legs. And he was like, something's going to happen in Vegas. And then sure as shit, the Vegas shooting happens. And that whole thing's a giant crazy psyop.
That's a fucking hornet's nest.
That's
dude.
a horn. How about to the fact that the guy who's singing on stage has the tattoo of the card in the Illuminati game for Vegas, which is like the ace and the king, I think, or the ace and the queen. And then he has the tattoo on his arm. It's all theater, dude.
Yeah, a lot of it has to be theater. It's hard to fucking know, man. But that's why we got Sam Tripoli.
Bang, bang, pow. Check out World War Debate, everybody.
Dude, thank you so much for doing this, man.
I love you, man.
This has been fucking super fun.
Hope this was fun and not too weird.
Hell yeah, it was fun.
Hey, I got to say something. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're really good at what you do.
Well,
I was very impressed.
You make it easy and fun, man.
Who does it as not poorly compared to you? You're a really good interviewer.
I appreciate it, dude. Tell everyone about Tinfoil Hat, where to listen to it, and any like shows or anything you have coming up. Or
I have a bunch of podcasts. I have 7 of them. I'm a crazy person. I can't stop talking to myself. So I just I'll throw a camera and a microphone in front of me. So I have Tinfoil Hat, Conspiracy Social Club. Doom Scrolling is my new show. Cash Daddies. And then my new project is Word War Debate. We're making the UFC of debating. Our first event got 50 million views across all platforms. The next one
on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's on Rumble. It's going to be on X. It's everywhere. It's basically, because debates are everywhere, we centralize it into one place. And the next one's probably going to be April 11th in Atlantic City. We're talking to some venues about doing it, but it's a great show. If you see the Anna Kasparian versus Pearl Davis stuff on the internet, that's our show. And we got a great team together, and it's going to be fire. We got some great panelists that say they want to do it. So April 11th, look for it, World War Debate, and check out my specials. Just go to samtripoli.com. You'll find all my podcasts, all my videos, everything like that. And Sam Tripoli on all social media.
Fuck yeah. We'll link it all below. All right. Oh, you got Patreon questions?
Yeah.
All right, we got people on Patreon. You got like 10 minutes to do some Patreon
sure.
stuff. Okay,
Whatever
fuck
you
it. All
want.
right, we're on the podcast right now. Thanks again, bro.
Thanks, bud. You're
Good
great.
night, everybody.